exploded.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the show. Let me just pause that. Pause. There we go. The music still keeps playing after you guys don't hear it, so all I hear is that wicked guitar solo in the theme. Which, if you, I don't know if I told you guys this before, but that guitar solo in the theme song is electric piano, from like a little Spanish beat in the clips I put together. I just ran it through some distortion, and it's like a wicked guitar solo. You can just, I could totally picture what's one of those Spanish channels? I totally forget the names of them, but like one of those like versions. Hey.
Univision.
Telemundo and Univision. Yeah. That's some nice Mexican today. That was nice. Anyway, folks, before we go rambling off about stuff today, I am your host, Ben. Joining me is my co-host, Ian. How you doing, Ian?
Doing pretty good. Pretty good.
Good, Ian. You get a peanut. And joining us this week, our good friend, Doug from the Crushcast. How you doing, Doug?
Pretty good. About you guys?
Oh, doing okay. I've got some family visiting this weekend, so I've been sleeping on an air mattress. It's been fun.
Nice.
And Kat's all wicked out. She's like, oh, he's doing a show. Well, I guess it's time to mess with stuff. I don't know about you guys, but like we put up the air mattress, and as soon as we inflated it, I immediately, until we deflate it, I'm in constant fear that my cat's going to start clawing it. Like, what's this?
Oh.
So.
And then all of a sudden there was an instance of flying kitty go.
Yeah, you gotta love those air mattresses that look like giant waffles or whatever.
Yeah, well, I like that they have the built-in pillow, and it's like you lay your head on it, it's a bump. It's like a speed bump in the road, but I guess.
It's on a pillow. That's a malformed air bubble. That's what happens to the air mattresses that unfortunately don't pass the test for a standard air mattress. What do we call that? Oh, just call it a built-in pillow.
Yeah. Well, we were on our second pump because the first one, when we bought them, it's like, oh, you have to pre-charge this pump for like 12 hours before it'll start filling anything. It's like, and we always forget to take that out until everyone gets here, and it's like, oh yeah, we gotta charge this for like 6-something hours. That's not gonna work. And then we got another one that has like a little nozzle and stuff and a little hose to it, so it's better for that kind of thing. You think, oh, this is going to be great, and you plug it in, and like 5 minutes later, this is taking longer than I remember. 5 more minutes. I think we're done. I think I'm good.
Yeah, I'm always scared of those things like popping or something, you know.
Well, that's only if you overfill them. I mean, more than likely they'll just have a slow leak. They're better than just laying on the floor, but after like I've used them for like a week at a time before, and like, all right, by then your back's just like, no, just on the floor, knots. Yeah. Anyway, so now you guys know about my fun time sleeping on the floor with the inflatable things. It's like an air tube.
The thing that sucks about those, though, is like if you have to sleep on them for like a week or whatever, you have to keep inflating them after a while.
Yeah, just like a regular balloon. Like, you ever keep a helium balloon and it slowly starts sinking down and getting less and less, and it's like, what? It's like, I'm a sad balloon. Why did you do this to me? Yeah. Why? I heard a debate a while ago that they're like, should we be selling helium and for parties and stuff, because it is kind of a limited resource. There's only so much of it.
Yeah, wasn't that like in the news or whatever where like helium was like very scarce?
I mean, really, if it's a very scarce item, why are we just selling it at like party things? I mean, I understand like gas is rare, but it's like that stuff's expensive, and everybody uses it. And I don't know. It'd just be weird to have something like that where it's like, hey guys, we used up all the helium. It's all gone. There's
What happened to all the helium? We don't know what happened to the helium.
Well, it's like, when stuff goes extinct, like the passenger pigeon, I think it was. When the last ones were spotted, there were articles in newspapers. They're like, "Oh, get your last chance to kill a passenger pigeon. Get your guns ready." Like, really? You guys don't care that much? I don't know. So, fun times. So anyway, guys, this week we're going to talk about something that's wicked awesome. Yay! And that means it's a topic I thought up. So obviously it's only interesting to me. But you guys can chime in. I'll be sharing notes with you guys, and we'll, because I'm not going to be like performing a lecture or anything. I'm just going to try and be guiding this with all the links I've got. But this week's episode is going to be about technically sleep cycles, but no early starts, Ian.
What? Huh?
But it's technically about sleep cycles, but it's also going to be just about like the overall body cycles. The stuff, getting your flow going and actually getting in a groove and being useful. And Doug, don't fall asleep.
I just got my flow going earlier.
Oh well, then you become a woman. I'm sorry.
I'm talking about toilet flow.
Anyway, so before we start talking about sleep cycles and all that fun stuff, I'm going to share a nice link about circadian rhythm.
Come on, get it out there.
Well, I was like, I thought for a second, I was like, did I pronounce the R? I'm like, yes, I pronounced the R. Why am I thinking this? And like, who are you? Shut up, me. So.
Oh yeah. Before we do your main topic, did you want to go through some news articles I found?
Sure.
Sure.
Well, all right, it sounds interesting. How many you got for us this week, Ian? 5?
Well, I got the 5.
Yeah, because he just introduced this last week, so forgive me. I'm still new to the whole. We're trying to get in the rhythm here, folks. Just like that's why we've got an episode about it, getting in rhythm.
Yeah,
he doesn't have any rhythm. He's Jewish. You shut up. Maybe it's true. Maybe I don't have rhythm.
Rhythm.
Hey guys, there was a bass guitar in my basement.
Well, speaking of rhythm and Jewish, you know what they call a Jewish piano? A cash register.
Okay, well, now thanks for getting us kicked off the internet, Ian. It was a nice run while it lasted. Apple's just shutting us down. That was
Apple's shutting us down.
Yeah, because they run everything. Anyway, so.
Damn right they run everything.
Well, what about Google? They're gonna.
The power of jobs compels you.
They're gonna get Android devices to do some maybe the next update. No, they decided to close that down. They're putting all their resources in something else now. Sorry, I know it never got out of beta, but we're real proud of it. So, give us some news, Ian.
Okay, well, the first article I found said that scientists reveal that the Mona Lisa may be the first 3D image in history. Thanks to a wonderful coincidence, Leonardo da Vinci may have invented the first stereoscopic image in history. I guess that they did like some kind of mountains or whatever that they painted in the background or whatever, and those were like, if you look at it differently, it like shifts or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was pretty interesting. What are your thoughts on just 3D? I mean, is it all just hype to you guys, or
like seeing 3D in a 2D image like that, or
yeah, just like in 2D or in like in an image or a video or whatever,
Well, I mean, I think it has its uses, and if the person going into it wants, designs it with that intent, but not just to show off the gimmick of it, but actually has something cool to do with it, then I'm all for it. It's just, I don't know. As an illustrator, it's like there's so many things that you can do. It's a typical thing with 2D art that there's like the graphical and like stuff that is very flat, and then there's we're trying to illusion this space and perspective and try and give off the effect that what you're looking at is a window into a world. So it's just an interesting debate that's been ever since people started making images. How about you, Doug?
I don't like 3D.
Huh.
I hate
What?
it.
You got that David Bowie thing where you can't, or was it David Bowie who can't? I know Johnny Depp can't see 3D, but David Bowie is just more recognizable because his eye looks messed up.
I can see 3D. Its modern application is very disjointed. The technology itself is very sketchy to begin with, and they're like, "Well, we're going to do movies in 3D." And I'm like, "Damn!" And then,
well, when it comes to 3D movies, I don't think anybody's really used it to its potential, other than like maybe 3 people. So,
yeah,
there's a lot of money goes into it. I had a buddy of mine who went to go see a 3D movie in Pittsburgh, $18 for a ticket.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, actually, go ahead.
There is no movie on Earth that is worth it in 3D.
Maybe if it comes out and does things to you, you know. I don't know. That makes me wonder, like, you know, the pornography industry kind of embraces newer technology, although I remember when Blu-ray came out that there were regulations that they weren't going to come out on Blu-ray, but then when HD DVD went away, I don't know. I don't know all that stuff, but it's like, I kind of wonder what it would be like to watch a porno in 3D. I mean, it'd probably be disorienting. Like, I'm noticing this cheesy effect when I'm trying to do something else. You're confusing me.
Yeah, that those bodily juices coming at you.
No, none of that. We don't need the. What? I don't know why he had 2 thwips there, but okay. So,
but, yeah, actually, one thing I thought I'd mention is I did see that the second Spider-Man movie in 3D last night.
Well, as long as we're talking about, I mean, just a reminder to get back on the topic later is that Ian, I forgot to mention on last week's show that I had seen a movie and I told Ian to watch it. Did you manage to watch that film, good sir? Somebody didn't do his homework. Somebody's going back in the box. Get the taser.
Oh, jeez.
Give me the pokey stick.
No, I did. The only 2 movies I saw was besides the Spider-Man movie was I saw that Spanglish movie we were talking about.
Oh, okay.
And then I saw the other movie with Ben Stiller called The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Oh, okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And those were okay. The Spanglish one was weird. I sort of didn't understand why the whole point was that the mom wanted the daughter to be like humble or whatever.
Well, the whole point was basically is like, don't forget where you came from, and I'm your mother, and you know, it's like you may have all these opportunities, but remember, you know, who brought you into this world, and you know, we talked about this after a show one time. It's like I kind of had issues with that movie because it's like I understand it's like be proud of where you come from and all that, but I'm proud of where I came from, but whatever. I don't need a movie about it. It's I don't know. I mean, I understand the whole, like, you know, I'm a white guy and I can't say anything, but, you know, it's like I mean, I respect that, you know, seeing a movie about, you know, different cultures and people's, you know, struggles and all this stuff, that's fine, but it's like, this is an Adam Sandler movie, yeah, whatever. See?
Yeah, actually, you didn't mention that. I was surprised Adam Sandler was in that.
He was in it, but it's like, not really. I mean, he was,
Yeah, that is true.
He could have been anybody else. It wasn't. Is my mic high, guys? It looks like I'm peaking on mine. So.
You sound fine to me.
Well, thank you. So, moving along to the next news story.
Excuse me.
Next news story. Actually, whatever Ian ate was delicious. Belch.
Now, actually, did you see Spanglish, Doug?
No.
Okay.
I generally try to stay away from most Adam Sandler movies anymore.
Well, it was one of his, you know, not like in your face Sandler movies. It was like,
oh yeah, definitely.
You know,
he peaked at Wedding Singer for me.
Well, I mean, he goes back and forth between like, I'm Adam Sandler and yeah, I'm Adam Sandler. How's it going? So, like,
well, you could continue on with your life then if you didn't see it.
Yeah, it's well. Also, I will say this: I did enjoy it more than Punch Drunk Love because they mumbled a lot in that movie, and I was like, "What's with the okay?" And there's What am I watching?
Deeply.
Yeah, that was Yeah, like, is he crazy? Okay, he's talking about he wants to make out with his chick and he wants to punch her in the face. I don't know. I mean, I understand people. I understand there's like people writing stuff up about this and everything, but it's like I'm just very confused with this movie. So, anyway, what other news stories do you have for us, Ian?
Okay. Second one is for the first time in Microsoft history, Bill Gates is no longer the company's largest individual shareholder.
And that's when they know that Microsoft fucked up.
Well, the guy I guess that he's coming in second to now is former CEO Steve Billinger.
Steve Ballmer.
Yeah, Ballmer or whatever.
Ballmer,
Yeah.
the guy who came out. The time was woo, yeah, woo. What's that? That was like Windows Vista, right? Or was it 98? I think it was that one's one where he jumped up and down at the show with me. Woo! Let's get excited! Woo!
The thing with Bill Gates not being the largest shareholder anymore, that's a mistake. Because for as much as Bill Gates was just a complete tool, he's smart. He's probably the smartest guy who's ever been in that company. He is a cutthroat mofo, and he can get the job done no matter what it is. It just so happens that the people working for him aren't really the most intelligent people.
Well, the thing about Steve, you know, with the whole Steve Gates thing is like, I mean, Bill Gates. I was thinking, names are crossing. They're becoming one. Apple and Microsoft are becoming one in my brain. But the thing about Bill Gates is like he hasn't really been like the chief guy. He's been busy with his philanthropy. Is that the word? Philanthropy is you know, he's been busy with that organization. He hasn't really been like running Microsoft like for a while, hasn't he? So the fact that he doesn't have like a, you know, the leading money interest in it, or, you know, share interest in it.
Right. Well, their shares were, and I say were because they're, you know, the stock market just changes every second, literally, you know. But when this article came out, it said that Bill Gates had 330.1 million shares, and then this Steve guy had 333 million. So, I mean, I don't know how much 3 million, difference of 3 million shares, I don't know how that could be a mistake, but that's what it is.
Well, I mean, Ballmer also took over the Xbox One section after that one guy went out and made all kinds of bad statements, you know.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we have an Xbox, we have a gaming system for people that don't have a regular internet connection. It's called the Xbox 360. It's like, you did not just say that. Yeah. So anyway, next news story, because I don't really know what to say about 3 million shares. I mean, it's more than I'll ever have, but you know, those guys, it's like they can toss at 3 million shares at you, you know.
Yeah,
they wouldn't feel it.
Yeah, it's like I wish I just had the difference between each of their shares, which is, you know, the 3 million shares. That'd be crazy just to even have that, let alone 300 million.
Oh man. So moving along, Ian.
Okay. This other one says, is the smartphone kill switch really bad for business in California? Senators who nix mandatory anti-theft software on phones sold in states say it's bad for business, but many won't say why. I really haven't read too much into this, but I believe it's, you know, like with they wanted to have it so that, you know, you can record at concerts and all that other stuff, so they could just put a kill switch on that or whatever in the software.
Well, my problem when you code a kill switch into a program like that, it's like, oh yeah, that's great. You don't trust your own users to not do malicious things with it, but also there's the fact that DRM is just a horrible idea, and you know, you're gonna screw up things that you don't mean to, but like, oh great, so now I can only dial, you know, from this bathroom standing on my head. You know, it's like there's gonna be it's never a good idea to hard code stuff like that, especially since when the phone comes out after it's been out for like a day, somebody will hack it and get around what's built into it. So it's just a stupid idea in general.
Yeah, well, it's just like that last article I said about last week about not being able to text while while the phone is accelerating.
Yeah, it's like there's some things where we're not going to be able to control what the people do, and it has to be within reasonable limits of what you can expect of people. It's like if you treat people like they're stupid, you think I'm stupid. Well, now I'm just going to do it more just to piss you off.
Well, the kill switch idea itself was supposed to be for people who had their phone stolen. Basically to make sure that, let's say someone stole your iPhone, you'd report it as stolen to the police, and then you take your police statement to AAB, whatever, blah blah blah, and basically, like AT&T or Verizon would say, okay, it's marked as stolen. We have this, we have that. All of a sudden, you contact Apple, say, it's been stolen. I need to invoke the kill switch, and your phone is bricked, never to be used again.
I don't know, man. I mean, when you think about iPhones and iPads now and laptops, they have that thing where you can go in and use the camera and take photos and video of the person who steals it. I don't know. I mean, especially now, if somebody steals your credit card, you can get on the phone and have them deactivate that. It's like if you have insurance on something, it's like, hey, whoever, somebody stole my tech. It's like, well, then we'll just send you a new one. But that'd be a nice world to live in. I don't know if that ever happens.
Yeah. Yep. Do you want me to continue on to the next article here, good sir?
Good. Sounds good to me.
And if you didn't notice, I started putting the links in there for everybody to show my work or whatever, my sources.
2 + 2 equals chicken. What?
Everybody can read along.
Yeah.
That's a nice. That's not who was that guy? Brian Regan. That's his joke. It's like they always have to preface it with intelligent life. Like we found people on Venus, but they're freaking stupid. So.
Okay. And next one it says in patent war, Apple and Samsung may both be losers. The world's largest makers of smartphones were awarded damages in their patent trial, but their reputations likely took a hit also. So I guess there was a mixed jury or whatever, So
reputations. Like billion-dollar companies care about what people. I mean, it's like
what? I thought they did it just because they're nice.
I mean, these companies they'll care about their reputation if it hits their bottom line, like the whole Xbox One thing. That's a reputation thing to worry about. Patent stuff, unless you're a tech guy that cares about this stuff, nobody's gonna even know. I mean, let's be honest, no.
Yeah, Apple has a reputation for having the sharkiest freaking lawyers on the planet. I mean, did you actually read the article and see how much damages were divvied up between the two sides? Because Samsung got $150,000, Apple got $150 million.
Yeah, that's.
Samsung's not happy. Apple's like, oh, that's chump change. Here you go, and we'll just go ahead and pay you for that patent.
Yeah.
And the big issue that Samsung had, which I think was probably the worst thing ever that they could have done, is when they were through doing the arguments and whatnot, they said that they said in their arguments that they did not infringe on Apple's patents. But if they did, they should only have to pay such and such amount. Who does that?
Well, O.J. Simpson. I mean, look, I did not kill Nicole.
I did.
Here's a movie on how I would have done it.
If I did, I meant to only hit him a little bit.
Well, I mean, they can argue that, my client proclaims innocence in this situation, but even if they did, they wouldn't, I can understand that from a legal standpoint.
That's basically admitting guilt. That's like no contest almost.
I don't know. Anyway, so, but yeah, patent wars. I mean, I don't know. Adam Carolla is doing a thing with that whole patent troll thing where they're like, "Oh, we're going to sue you, because you make money doing podcasts, and we have this claim on this patent that claims we own podcasting." And it's like, what?
Yeah, it didn't do something where it was a patent for like organizing like the.
Well, it's for streaming media or storing media, like video, audio content online or something like that. The whole idea is that it's a shakedown for people you have to pay us this fee or we're going to sue you, and it's like, well, the legal fight costs a lot of money, so most people won't do it. But it's like, Carolla says, I'm suing him. So he's raising funds for it, but it's like, I don't know, man, I wouldn't want to do that. So.
Yeah.
Moving along, singing a song.
This last article I didn't read too much about, but it's about how Google is not stalking students anymore.
What if they're hot?
Oh, maybe. But no, I guess they were using some kind of app that, like some kind of educational app or something that minded that. Like tailored things for advertisement or whatever. I think they went through their emails, or I don't know. There's a YouTube video that you can watch about it there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, it's like if you install an app, it's like, oh, this thing, all it does is post this. It's like, well, if you click this button, it'll run through your contacts and you accept it to post as you and all this stuff. And it's like, I love when you install an app and then give it the authority and immediately it posts hey, I'm using this new app. Come subscribe and go to their website and you do these awesome. I'm like, I have never done anything with you yet. Sit down.
Well, it's like, actually, I should mention that there was this one app that I heard about that I decided to start trying to see how good it works or whatever, and it's by that McAfee guy.
What, by McAfee?
Yeah,
oh, the McAfee guy?
Yeah, he made this program called Decentralized or whatever, and it'll warn you about what permissions that the software is that it needs, and it'll let you know if the software is actually it's about to do that whatever it needed. Like, for example, it let me know that like my Instagram app was using access for my camera, and I didn't even have the app open. It's like, what? The camera?
Now, the McAfee guy, is he now? We're talking about the same guy who on message boards was posting about how to take drugs recreationally rectally.
I don't know about that.
The guy who was on the run from the law in that one country.
Yeah, well, I heard something about that, but I don't know. I mean, even like some of the banking apps, I guess I read online. It said actually requires you to let it have access to like cameras or like your contacts lists and.
Well, I mean, some apps
stuff,
like some apps, like I guess it might be like someday if there's ever like you need a photo verification thing or whatever. Like when I was doing that online art history course, it's like to submit the thing, they're like, oh, you can get a free trial of the thing where you get the little thing to put on a website that says you took the course or whatever, and like. I didn't click that. I just clicked submit my project, and it'd be like, oh, we can't detect a webcam and stuff like that, to get this authorized. And it's like, oh, I'm not doing the authorization. I'm not paying money to have a photo of me like I'm really me. Like I don't care. I'm just taking this course for my own. I don't know. It's interesting though.
Yeah. Well,
when eventually we need to start having our eyeballs scanned in the light to go in the way.
Well, it sort of goes along the lines of that, just like that Connect stuff, people are worried about because somewhere in that EULA says that it every now and then it needs to look through the camera or whatever and like recalibrate or whatever, I would just like to take a picture of like the most rude thing and point it right at the Connect so that every time it recalibrates, it's seeing like goatsy, and it's like, why do I live? Why? What are your thoughts, Doug? Yeah, what are your thoughts, Doug?
I'm offended that you mentioned Kinect, because I'm a Sony guy.
And yet, you're not offended I mentioned Goatsy. Well, we now see where Doug's loyalties lie. Oh, man.
What do you want? I'm working double duty here, man. Come on.
Well, what do you think about the phone stuff, though? I mean,
well, you do sacrifice a fair amount of your privacy using those apps, because it does tell you, and it gives you the option to choose. Blah 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 would like access to your photos. Well,
yeah.
You've got personal photos on there. What makes you think it's not going to scan them if it's on there? As much as I'm all about not having Big Brother down your neck, when you do those sorts of things and then pictures get out...
Yeah. Well, you
Who
just
knew
got...
Who knew that my Google phone would be sharing pictures I took with my Google phone with Google? Honestly, Google, why? Why would you invade me like this?
Yeah, you just got to be aware of that type of stuff,
Yeah, it's like I was talking with a friend of mine because I'm going to Rock on the Range in a couple of weeks, and we were talking about personal responsibility. And she was like, "Well, whatever you do, don't let me get crowd surfed." I was like, "Well, obviously we won't." And then she's like, "Yeah, there's too many girls skanking it up down there." I was like, "This is true. Like when you take a look at how some people dress and how they're treated, you dress the part in many ways. If you dress like a skank, you get treated like a skank for the most part. And it's the same thing with the devices that you have. You use it for those purposes, you're going to get treated like you use those devices for those purposes. Like say for instance, the camera that I'm live streaming with right now. It's not a secure line. It's a line straight through to Google Hangouts, which is a public server. It's a public thing that anybody can watch. Am I really going to get mad if somebody says, "Oh man, there's a live stream going on. Oh wait, somebody's watching me. I don't want you to watch me." Come on, you had to know it was going to happen. You give up that expectation of privacy in a lot of cases.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's one thing, Doug. But it's like, if you sign in for a live, a hangout, suddenly your entire contact list is notified. Hey, he's in this hangout. Come join it. It's like, well,
Yeah.
It's like, is that something you always want? Sometimes you don't. It's like you'd like the little box to be able to tick and say, "Hey, I just want to hang out, but I don't want like Grandmama to get the thing to join me because that'd be weird."
Yeah.
Hope you like big jokes, Grandma.
And the problem is too which this decentralized app helps to fix is that the software doesn't tell you that it's about to go access this stuff. It'd be nice if each software asked you, "Oh yeah, is it okay if I access your some of your Bluetooth devices or whatever?"
Well, that's the mark of a good program too. Is when you load it, it'll say, "Hey, we're going to connect to your contact list. We're going to post it on your friend." They give you the list of what you can expect them to get into.
Yeah.
Like as to how full it is, like they might leave stuff off, but that would be kind of dickish. So.
Yeah.
I think that's like I've never run into very many apps that run on the iPhone that have that issue. And if they do, Apple's like, take it down, do it now. That's part of the reason why I don't work with Android phones anymore. It's too open source. That's right.
I don't need my iFart app connecting my contacts and telling people, "Hey, guess who I farted today?"
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Actually, one thing I wanted to ask, which we talked about last week, is what do you think about that whole FCC thing with net neutrality, Doug?
Not happy.
Not happy.
Sucks.
Well, the argument I've heard is he was saying, "Oh, we're going to let people build in a fast lane." It's like, well, you can't build a fast lane unless there's a slow lane. So, and they're like, no, there will be a slow lane. Then how are you going to have a fast lane?
What came first?
Oh man.
I just don't like the idea of the censorship.
I don't know. I saw Will Wheaton had on his Tumblr a nice chart of, when Netflix paid off Comcast to give all their users, a fast connection. And it's like you saw it just a huge, it had gone crappy too. Suddenly there's this huge jump that they were providing better quality. Like, I don't know, man.
I think there may be, in some service providers, an expectation of a certain amount too, as far as speed goes. If, say, Comcast is providing, 20 megabit per second speed, because I know Time Warner Cable, they're supposed to do something like guarantee you a particular amount of speed. That you can go a certain amount under it before it causes a concern, and then they have an issue. But they keep you at a certain level at the very least if there's not an outage or an issue in this system. I know CenturyLink is bad for that, though. They'll say, well, that's the maximum you can go. What you might actually get may vary. And I'm like, really? I didn't find out about that until I got my service.
Yeah, I don't know. With my internet connection, it's always been when I get a hold of them to tell them something's going on, they're like, oh, our thing says you're getting the best connection. It's like, yeah, well, my internet just dropped, so I don't care what your test said. The man who's actually at the device says otherwise, and they'll send somebody out, and the guy's like, oh, this connection is running fine. I don't see anything wrong with it. The next guy comes in, looks at it, doesn't even plug anything in, and goes, yeah, that's the oldest modem we got. They're all dying, and we're just replacing them as they go. I'm like, you couldn't. You're the second guy. You can't tell all your employees, hey, look for the bad old modem.
Yeah.
So,
did you guys notice that on Firefox, if you have the default Firefox page set, that there's a picture of a world map instead of the Firefox logo, and it'll take you to a video called "The Web We Want," and it's a bunch of kids saying that about net neutrality, and they're a human, they're not like a data point or whatever.
We are the web. We are the children. Yeah. Well, the thing is, I haven't been to Firefox's website in a long time because I use Chrome because it's a lot faster. I mean, don't get me wrong, Firefox loads, if I have trouble getting something to load on Chrome, I'll go to Firefox because it'll get everything to load, but you also have to wait for everything to load on Firefox. So.
But before I got my Mac, I was a Chrome guy because Firefox got way too slow. All of a sudden, it went through one update, and then all of a sudden, the performance went from, oh, it's going pretty good, all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, I think I'm going to Chrome now.
Yeah, Chrome. I mean, I've had issues even with Safari, which is the default browser on a Mac. It's like, yeah, hold on, I'm taking my time. Hold on. And whenever a new script app or what an extension you can find goes out there, it's like Chrome will get it. The Safari version, we're just not going to support it. They don't really.
See, I'm really surprised that because I got Flash Player installed, and I'm like, Flash Player works on Safari?
Yeah, well, the whole Flash thing was an iOS thing. OS 10 has always had Flash, but if you want to start, nitpicking, it's like go look at the history of Java on OS 10 lately. Yeah, that's. Anyway, moving along.
Anyways, so you wanted to.
You
wanted to get onto your topic now, huh?
Yeah, I know. It's a shame. I talked to an awesome guy like me. But yeah, we're starting off talking about circadian rhythm. Now, Doug got upset with my pronunciation. Now, do you know about the whole concept of this one? Because I'm only familiar with the concept, not so much all the ins and outs of it.
There's a rhythm in this circadian. Are we talking about Arcadians from the Scorpion King? I mean, because that movie was pretty bad.
See, for a second I thought he was going to say circadians. Are those little bugs that come around every 7 years and swarm? So. No, but for now, I personally don't have too much experience with, because we're citing Wikipedia. This is obviously not a college paper here, but we're using it because it's out there for people to check and everything. And it's basically the idea that human bodies, all animals, living organisms have internal biological clocks. Whether it be I must mate and reproduce now, or I must wake up now and be active and alert. And if you look at the little chart on the page, it has that that Leonardo da Vinci drawing of the guy, and then you get like, best coordination, fastest reaction time, and it has a lot of stuff. Bowel movements suppressed, deepest sleep, lowest body temperature, and that's the basic idea of overall there's best times for you to be doing stuff. Because, like, if we were talking about sleep, everybody's like, oh, I can sleep like so many hours and get up. It's like, well, yeah, but if you're sleeping at the time when your body says, hey, I need sleep, this time when it's night out and it's dark, I'd like to sleep. That's usually the best time to sleep. You ever try to go to sleep with the sun shining?
Yes.
Yeah, it sucks.
Sucks so bad.
Oh, I can do it. Any time of day. If given the opportunity, I can be like, oh, well, it's light out, but, man, yeah, goodbye.
Yeah, blackout curtains are your best friend, because going to bed with the sun shining in that's not fun.
Yeah, and then you have the fact that like the whole freaking world is awake, and you have people drilling across the street, jackhammer,
So, but yeah, the whole idea of biological clock, is particularly humans. I mean, other creatures. I have a TED talk I'll link later on in the show that one talks about. You take a crab out of one of the coasts and take it like all the way at the other end of the country, and you can just like sit it in a room, and it'll start moving back and forth according with how the tide moves in its home location for a long time till it starts adjusting. Because that stuff's just ingrained in its nature. Because it's like if it had to think about that every time, it'd probably be dead. So moving along, let's talk about sleep cycles and everything. I've got a whole bunch of notes. I'm trying to figure out what order to best present them in.
Come on, chop.
Hey, now you had 5 stories. I've got like a whole bunch of leaks here, man. So, but first, let's talk about polyphasic sleep. Polyphasic sleep refers to the practice of sleeping multiple times in a 24-hour period, usually more than 2, in contrast to biphasic sleep, twice per day, or monophasic sleep, once per day. So, the idea is that, you and I, we're Americans here. We're used to the idea, you sleep 8 hours, right? You go to bed, you sleep 8 hours, you get up, you do your stuff, and then you go back to bed. And with this idea is that sometimes you sleep 2 hours, and then you take half-hour naps every 6 hours. You do different things. Or like I like to do. I've tried it. I'm going to try it again eventually. Is I'm going to try splitting my day up into 2s. So I'll have one mini day where I'm up and doing stuff, and then when I'm tired and not feeling it anymore, I'll go back to bed, then get back up, shower, and start another day. Now, the thing about getting a sleep cycle like this is dealing with other people in the world, because nobody else has. Because when we were in our 20s and even now, if you're a night owl, if you're up at like midnight and 1 in the morning and later, and it's like, oh, hey, nobody's up, or hey, other people are up or that are in my age group, and it's like all the older people are all asleep.
Actually, I heard like a lot of the old people tend to be night owls, like the old women and stuff, I guess. They're up watching their little rabbit ear TV,
Well, do those even get signals anymore?
You know what I mean, man. This I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's I'll link to another Wikipedia page here about, we Americans work on the 12-hour clock, which is the AM/PM cycle. Which now, do you guys know what AM and PM stands for?
Well, I know PM is post-meridian, I think.
Let's see. Yeah, and AM is from the Latin ante meridiem, so this is before midday and after midday. Seems pretty simple. Now, the thing is, though, that the 12-hour clock is predominantly like an American thing, like North America and Canada, and but the majority.
500.
Okay.
Military clock.
Well, it's a nice thing that you mentioned that, Ian, because I've got yet another link of the 24-hour clock, which is an interesting article, where other countries rely on this, because when I started thinking about my sleep cycle and being productive, because like I've got times where I'm really into it, man. Like I want to work, and then midday it's like I'm not quite feeling it. By the end, it's like I just want to go to sleep. And then at like 1 a.m, it's like I could work. I could get something done. So I started thinking, I wish there were more hours in the day. And then I thought, there are 24 hours in the day. How are we dividing our day up and using it? Because in the military, it's like, we have 24 hours in the day at 1,700 hours. You will be doing something. So, it's like it's an interesting way to look at the world. I mean, the rest of the world can run on this time. It's just in America we don't because, we have inches instead of meters. And
we're weird.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, aren't we phasing out like cursive in schools? And there's just some stuff that's like, why are we not teaching these things? And why? I don't know. I'd like to learn the metric system. I really would.
Well, let's not get into the curriculum and Common Core and all that, please.
All right.
Well, bad enough I got to be on YouTube and watching advertisements for elect Jim Bob for Congress. He'll get rid of Common Core and bring real education back to our schools.
America, and then you can learn like Texas has its American authors that are all from Texas, and they're very big on the history of Texas in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
can I say something about the measurement thing though?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I get it why the like the metric system is nice because it's a lot less confusing than using like fractions, but I just like the chunk size of the like the inches or whatever. It's nice to have that size and like really tiny little things. It's I like it when they have like decimal inches. That's nice instead of using a fractional.
Well, yeah, fractional and all that, but it's like the whole point of, the metric system is that things convert better. So it's like if you have something that is millimeters, you can convert it to centimeters, and and all these things. It's like it all has the 1 to whatever ratio. Fractions is just, I don't think, things are weird, man. It's like we got yards, we got feet, we got miles. Everything's uneven in America.
Well, the problem is like everything we're so intertwined with it, like all of the metrics with like 1/4-inch bolts and nuts and stuff,
Yeah, well, I mean that's the thing. It's like, getting back to this whole circadian rhythm and everything, and the whole concept of the 8-hour sleep time. That's really a product of the Industrial Revolution, though, because we've all learned the 8-hour sleep time, but traditionally, if you look, there's articles about people having the second sleep, that people would go to bed and then they'd be up for an hour or two, and they would either have relations with their partners, or they would go out and chat with neighbors, and and it's like this was an accepted thing. And in the TED Talk that I'm going to link, in fact, I think I'll link it now. Jessica Gamble, How to Sleep, Our Natural Sleep Cycle. She mentions that there's that people would they go to bed when it starts getting dark, they'd sleep for a while, then they get up at they'd wake up at like 1 or so, or midnight or 1, and they'd have a little thought, and they'd sit and peacefully go back to sleep, and they'd feel rested. Did Doug freeze? Okay.
Dougie.
I'm listening.
Okay, I was just worried your video had frozen and then you were going to drop, and it's like, oh no, what do we do? But yeah, and it's like where she came from. She was saying that she was from like I forget if she said she was from Canada or Alaska, but the part where it's 6 months out of the year it's always sunny, and 6 months it's always dark, and that's got to mess with your body's rhythm.
Yeah.
I mean, she was saying that, like, when it's winter and always dark, it's like that's when you get with your family and, things are very close and you stay inside. And then once it's outdoors, it's like everyone is always out and doing something because you're compulsive, So.
I think that's more of a train thing, too, as opposed to a clock. I mean, for years, I could, maybe I'm just the weird one out of most, but time of day and, rhythm as far as sleep goes is never a thing. It was just more adapting to whatever situation needed a particular sleep schedule to me.
Well, yeah, human beings can adapt to things.
third shift for years, like about almost 5 to 7 years, and it was just one of those things where it was like, sleep when you can, try to stay awake when you can. It is what it is.
Well, I mean, that's one of those things that, human beings can adapt because we kind of have to. There's that concept of the new normal, where if, every day you woke up and you had to jump out a window in order to survive, it's like, it would be weird the first few times you had to do that. But eventually you adapt, and it's like, well, tomorrow I got to jump out. I guess I'm going to, yeah, and I hate that glass. It always cuts me. You adapt to things. Like, that's a thing you do. Like, there's that Louis C.K. bit where he had he said his ankle was real stiff and kind of crappy, and he went to a doctor, and there's like, well, in the morning, you can do some stretches. He's like, well, how long till that fixes it? He's like, fixes it? No, this is just something you do now. He's like, you're 40? He's like, if you were like 20, you came in here with this problem, we could come in and take it apart and rebuild and give you a whole new ankle. But you're 40. So what you do is you're 40 and you got a crappy ankle. Go away. So, that's the new normal idea. Is like, well, this is a part of what you have to do now. It's like, we get older, you have to have glasses, or it's like, well, it's not so easy to keep the weight off, so you have to adjust to losing weight. Have to keep stuff in mind, because you can't stay the way you were when you were at a certain point in your life all the time, can you?
Nope. Yeah, you better start using some Icy Hot on that, Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well,
but, she mentions in the TED Talk, though, I really recommend watching, even though we're probably talking about a lot of things. It's really short. It's like 4.5 minutes or something like that. I can't remember how long it is on the thing. It'll say, they have a little transcript of it, but one of the things she talks about is if you take people and put them in an underground bunker where there are no lights, or, there's no windows or anything, and keep them there for like 6 months, they'll keep doing what they were doing when they had exposure to sunlight. But every day they'll wake up like 5, 10, 15 minutes later, and things will slowly degrade, because it's like, you can learn things about waking up, but, your body has some natural rhythm, and then sometimes you're like, I don't know what time of day it is. Like, I don't know. I mean,
like you with your full spectrum bulbs?
Yeah, these are nice. Like, these bulbs I've got, it always looks like it's 3 in the afternoon, so sometimes if I'm doing something like talking to you guys or whatever, and I'm really busy, and then I look out my window, and it's pitch black, and I go, oh, it is 3 in the morning.
Oh, that definitely happened a couple weeks ago. The last time I was on here, it's like we're all just sitting around talking and whatnot. And all of a sudden, like, dude, the show's on like 3.5 hours. I mean, that's a pay-per-view.
Yeah. Well, it would be if we were fighting each other and like one of us was a hot chick getting naked. I guess. I mean.
Ding ding ding.
Oh, great! Am I gonna have to walk around with the holding up the sign in the bikini? Because that would be.
Yeah, it's because like I got this rolling on the live stream.
But yeah, so
yeah, you happen to catch me in the middle of a pay-per-view weekend.
Well, I was gonna say something. I think it's crazy, like the sleep schedule of dogs, because don't they usually get like 18 hours of sleep a day? I mean, they get up for a little bit and go back to sleep on the couch or whatever.
Well, I mean, it's more so with cats. Like, the average cat sleeps like 17 hours a day, and like, hunters, they don't, since a house cat doesn't require, killing to live, it gets fed all the time. It just kills because it wants to or to practice. So, yeah, they're like, cats are the one of the most common killers out there of creatures. They just do it because they're out there.
Actually, I heard there was like an article about a guy that's trying to get some kind of legislation in his country passed. I think it was in Australia. I forget where he's like. Yeah, we need to get rid of a lot of these wandering cats around because they pretty much just kill just for the fun of it,
Well, that's what they do. I mean, it's like they have access to stuff, and like, that's why we ended up almost extincting the buffalo and killing off all kinds of other animals just because, hey, we're bored. Let's shoot this thing. Pew! That's what they can do. And
that's what happened in Russia right before the Olympics too. Is that they were killing off stray dogs.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, if you and there's some countries where they have like rats, and we were just like, oh, cute little rats. It's like, no, these things are like as big as some small dogs. They're big freaking rat. So, but yeah, I don't know, man. But if you want to talk about foreign countries and laws things, what about that guy? Was it in the Ukraine who's running as Darth Vader? And so, yeah, I don't know. I saw it on a Hollywood Babylon, they had a YouTube video of it. Like, if you speak what the language of the Ukraine, which I guess is Ukrainian, I don't know. He made a nice forced joke and stuff. It was interesting.
By the way, may the fourth be with you.
Well, as long as it's not another one of those "it's gonna be May" jokes. You seen that going around? It's like, yes, Justin Timberlake. I remember him when he had the '90s hair. That's nice.
I'll just wait till the day of the NSYNC reunion album. That's actually supposedly confirmed. So.
Well, didn't like the Backstreet Boys have that reunion tour with like
New Kids on the Block?
New Kids on the Block, and I saw a video for that, and they're like, please, we're like boy bands again. Bring it back, please.
No, people never stopped liking boy bands. Now they're just into One Direction. You don't know you're beautiful. Let me tell you something about One Direction. I hate these guys, not for the fact that they exist, but for the fact that I work at Walmart, and at least before they switched out the CD at our store, 5, 7, 10, 12 times a day, you don't know you're beautiful. Let me tell you something about that song. I've never been driven to violence more than listening to that song multiple times per day.
If you've ever seen Todd in the Shadows has a series where he talks about one-hit wonders and he does pop song reviews, and he was talking about One Direction. He's like, my problem with One Direction is One Direction want to bone your daughter. He's like, they're not trying to just talk her into stuff. They're like they're feeding her. They're saying these things. They're like, oh, you don't know you're beautiful. It's like, you're really ugly, but you don't know it, girl. It's like, they're like, wait a minute, what? And then he said that like their biggest hit lately is they're dressing up as old men and making jokes in the video, and it's like basically the song is the same thing as that song by Tenacious D, Tribute. They're like, this is the best song in the world, but we forgot what it was. It's like, girl, since I saw you, I had the best song, but I can't remember it right now. It's like, really? That was a joke song, guys. Are you? I don't know. It's
at least Tribute was a good song, though. But I'll tell you what was coming up as a close second to that You Don't Know You're Beautiful song. The one that's on our CD right now is that Taylor Swift Trouble song. Yeah. The only saving grace of that song is the fact that when I listened to it, when that song first came out at WrestleMania last year, Brock Lesnar was throwing around Triple H and just screamed out of nowhere, just like that one guttural scream that most guys would like, ah. And it's perfectly in key with her song. So they did a remix where it's like trouble, 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 whoa, whoa, and you hear him screaming, and you're just sitting there laughing every single time I hear that song. I think of that. It's funny as hell.
I don't know. When I think of Taylor Swift, I think of how she's got a song about like when you're 22, and I'm like, I am 31. What? I cannot relate to you. Go.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I feel like. I understand, like, guys like, Booger from Revenge of the Nerds, like, what's great about high school girls? I get older. They stay the same age. And it's like, I'm like, I have...
Now on my shelf.
But when I was in my 20s, I had trouble talking to 20-year-old girls. It's like, I had trouble talking to people a year younger than me. And it's like, now that I'm 31, it's like, yeah, I'm getting the whole, what am I doing with my life? Really? I'm trying to figure things out. And they're just like, so I like One Direction. Go away. Just... Because it's I don't know. And then you think about guys like Hugh Hefner, and everyone's like, dude, he's like 80 and surrounded by all these hot chicks. Like, he's an 80-something-year-old man perpetually surrounded by 26-year-old women. Like, if you turn like 20 older than like 26, that you're out of the mansion. It's like, what does he talk to them about? Like, they're sitting there going, so I was on the Instagram. And he's like, yes, tell me more.
There you go. That's for everybody there.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Let me take a peep at this here. Another video. I'll probably have to pause as soon as it opens.
Actually, I was going to ask Doug, is that... I always liked Brock Lesnar. Is he still pretty much like a monster? Is he still pretty huge?
He's didn't you know that Brock Lesnar broke the Undertaker streak at WrestleMania?
He broke what?
He broke the Undertaker's 21-0 undefeated streak at WrestleMania.
Oh, really?
All right, so back to sleeping. Now, well, the thing is, like, when I there are articles that every so often I'd find an article like, that's good. And then I'd see other articles that were just like, hey, here's some stuff about sleep you didn't know. It's like, sure, right. But I figure I'll link this Life Hacker article because, they had they had a life hack recently about using dishwashing liquid to wash your dishes before you wash them. You know, so yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. A lot of the dishwashers, you pretty much got to wash them before you put it in there.
Yeah, but this one, it's how to reboot your sleep cycle, get the rest you deserve. It just makes it sound like an insurance guy.
There you go.
But yeah, I'll link that one. It's got effects of sleep deprivation, short-term recovery, long-term recovery, because you know how that is. It's like if you get off your sleep cycle, sometimes you're like, I just got to stay up all night and reboot this stuff, man, because I can't. If you've been up to like 4 in the morning one night and you have to go to bed at like 6 at night, you ever been there, guys? You've been there. Yeah.
I've gone about 2 days without sleep before. It's fun.
Oh, that's cute. See, as an art student, like that's the thing is like a lot of like art guys and a lot of professionals in a lot of fields, they're like, oh man, I've been seeing spiders for 6 days. They talk about like all their things. It's like I don't want to brag about not getting any sleep. Like I used to do all-nighters in college, but as I got out of school, if I don't sleep, I start seeing spots and getting a migraine, and then when the spots go away, I get the headache, and then I see the spots again, and it's like, okay, I have to lie down. I cannot do this anymore. So
yeah. I was gonna ask, Ben. So, I mean, now that we're talking about like the sleep, like the different sleep schedules, and you're gonna get a lot of links for all those, like you said, the TED Talk and stuff. Do you sort of have this like divided down into sections, like the health benefits and the risks of sleeping good or bad? And do you have like broken down into like like things to help you get on the sleep schedule?
Well, I'll have links to websites you can use and alarms and different things you can use to if you have to wake up when it's dark out and you're like, man, I'm not feeling it. There are alarms you can use that will make a fake sunrise. And I've got one on my iPad that it sounds like the dumbest thing, I know, but it's a really good thing to add to my alarm, because if you've ever had that pitch black room and then the you're laying there and it's like, I don't want to get up. I'm just going to hit that snooze button. And you're in your mind, you're like, you should get up, but there's two of your minds, you know what I mean? That half asleep, yeah, I don't care. Donk.
Yeah. Or you get those alarms that make you solve math problems.
Yeah, I would never do that because I would literally break my phone. I don't want to. when I'm still asleep and when I'm hungry and ready to eat, I don't want to think about math. I don't want to do complication. Let's get this done. Don't get in my way. So there's things like that. I personally set 2 alarms in the morning. My first alarm plays music, so that way I can slowly wake up, because usually you listen to a song or two and it's like, okay, I'm kind of awake, I guess I'll get up. At versus that's the second alarm. That one where after a half hour, if I haven't gotten up, my second alarm goes off, and it's a sonar setting on my iPhone, so it just goes ding, ding. So yeah, but that, and then my iPad has the sunrise alarm, so it's like when you're hearing this nice, awesome music, whatever you want to listen to, because like I don't want to, no Austrian Death Machine on my alarm. Well, okay, there it is on one of my playlists, but it's you're not. Yeah, if you wake up at like 4 in the morning and you have that going, it's like, oh, that will turn that noise off, no, because you're half asleep. But if there's something, it's like, oh, that's nice. I'm awake now. I'm good to get up. Okay.
I'm all about freak out wake ups. I used to have a death metal answering or alarm on my phone, and I used it a couple times until my wife heard it, and that was like the last time that I used it.
So like if there was a service where some dude would just like come into your room and punch you in the face to wake you up, would you do it?
That just it reminds me of Bam messing with his little brother.
Yeah, life would probably suck if you were one of Bam's friends, man.
I just picture that crazy. I just picture that episode where Bam's parents went to bed and then they came in and his dad sneaks out of bed and they get this other big guy in there and curls up next to his mom and she goes like, wait a minute, ah! And he was like,
why is there wrecking ball? What's with the wrecking ball? What's with the wrecking ball?
Yeah, but All right,
Yeah,
so
actually, I was gonna ask Doug, what kind of schedule are you on? Do you like to stay up pretty late when you can, besides work?
Generally, yeah. I'm like I said, I've done all sorts of different sleep schedules over the years, so I can just do quick adapt. Most of the time, like since I worked at 2 jobs, it's kind of on just a standard one right now. I generally operate on about 6 hours to 6 to 8 hours, depending on the night.
Yeah, I hate it when you get like that in between where it's just enough sleep for you, but it's really not enough, like 4 or 5 hours. That's like the worst, man.
yeah,
I used to
I like
I used to
6.
operate on
6 is
that.
good. 6 is good, although after a couple of consecutive days of waking up at 6, I usually have one day where I crash for multiple more hours. So, I don't know. It's good to have a rhythm, though, because like, I have the problem if I go to sleep and I get up at a random time the next day, and my body's like, "What are you doing, man? We're supposed to be in bed." I just had the problem lately. Like, I'll go to bed early, and then like I'll be laying in bed. It's like, oh, it's got to be like 5 or close to 6 when my alarm's set. I look at the clock, 2. What? Why? Or like it won't even be that. I'll think I'll have been in bed for like all night, and then I'll look and it's not even midnight. It's like, how do I get to sleep from this? We can talk about that in a second, but let me share another link here. The myth of the 8-hour sleep. It has mentions of it's got an engraving from 1595, evidence of activity at night, and they're talking about how studies they've done. In the early 1990s, psychiatrist Thomas Ware conducted an experiment in which a group of people were plunged into darkness for 14 hours every day for a month. It took some time for their sleep to regulate, but by the 4th week, the subjects had settled into a very distinct sleeping pattern. They slept first for 4 hours and woke for 1 or 2 hours before falling into a second 4-hour sleep. So, I don't know, man. That's like, where do you guys stand on the concept of the going to sleep, getting up, and then going back to sleep again thing?
I don't know. For me, I don't think it works out too well for me, especially since like I really can't do like those power naps where you go to sleep for 15 minutes in the middle of the day, especially like at those places where you're lay down in a chair or whatever. That's for that purpose of power napping, like at Google or whatever.
Well, the concept of the power nap is it has to be a short one where you're just able to just fall asleep and then wake up from it. And I have the problem that like I can never fall asleep immediately when it's nap time. I always think, okay, I got 30 minutes, so if I fall asleep right now, I'll get that 30 minutes. 5 minutes passes. Okay, if I fall asleep right now, it'll be 25 minutes of sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
Normally when I take a nap,
Works out that way.
when I take a nap, I wake up and I feel worse than I did had I just stayed up. So I personally, I would much rather go to bed exhausted than go to bed thinking I gotta sleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
So,
definitely.
I mean, a nice thing if you look back at that polyphasic Wikipedia page, they've got let's see, studies and a nice chart of the different sleep cycles that were broken down into just pies. So you've got monophasic, biphasic, everyman, Dymaxion, and Uberman, where that one is just crazy. Where you're sleeping like 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and you're awake more chunks. It's just the concept of being productive, because like we agree everyone has to sleep, but should you when you're done feeling productive, like Ian and I, we work at home and do stuff in our own place in our own time. It's like if you work till you're like, I'm just not feeling it, man. Like maybe I'll go back to bed for like 4 hours, and then you wake up, and maybe you can get into the getting up and having a second day, which sometimes it works. I've gotten into the flow of it before, but the problem is it's always dealing with other people. Like, I'm not saying that as a bad thing. It's just when the rest of the world works on a different sleep schedule from you, people are like, "Hey, I want to hang out." I'm like, I just got to bed like 5 minutes ago.
I'm of the opinion that as far as like rhythms go, and you need this amount of sleep, and you need this amount of sleep. I think it's relative. And
Well,
it's all dependent on what that person is doing and how. And I mean, somebody sitting at a desk for 8 hours a day and then going home is going to have a lot more energy than someone who's doing the same 8 hours.
now that's an interesting point. Is Mike Judge, the creator of Beavis and Butthead, he went to school to be a physicist, and he said he had trouble working that kind of job because he got real brain tired, where he would have to sit and just concentrate all day, versus like a job like you're working on the factory where you're just like, I'm just a cog in this machine and I'm doing my thing and I'm not thinking about anything. It's like if you have to be, I've been working on projects, and it's like some people we've talked about on the show before that one method where you work in bursts so that you can't wear yourself out. And it's like, I don't know, if I had to work just a short time at other things, my mind was just like, no, I just want to work for like 6 hours straight on this one thing. But you do that, and then you get like repetitive strain injury, and you wear yourself out quicker.
Well, we've talked before on the show about you're supposed to it's healthy for you to take breaks like every 20 minutes or something,
Mm-hmm. Breaks are a good thing. As much as
going to happen.
As much as you don't want to take a break, it's a good thing too. Sometimes you have to convince yourself of it. I think that's a big thing I have problems with. Is like you're just sitting there and it's like you're gritting your teeth, going must work, and after a while it's like, this isn't fun anymore. My hand's cramping, and why am I doing this? And it's like you can be it's like you can have a boss that tries to work you like a slave, and then you can be your own slave driver, and it's like you need to be able to rest and enjoy what you're doing to some degree. I mean. Like, especially if you're doing a job you don't like. I mean, sometimes you just have to take a job to do it. You can't, it can't be a party time, but it's like if you had a job that you didn't like and all you could think about for the entire time you were in that building is just that thing and never take any time away from it, you'd probably...
Right. Actually, one thing I wanted to get your take on, Ben, is I've had couple arguments before with a friend like years ago, I remember, and it was sort of about the idea of like, say if you get normally, like you said, like 8 hours of sleep, but then you get one night you have to, for whatever reason, you have to get like 5 hours. The argument was that your body thinks it's missing 3 hours, and it then like if you were to go to sleep after a few hours, you would sleep for like the 3 hours, and he was arguing that your body can't physically know it's missing 3 hours or whatever.
The argument is your body can tell when you're missing enough sleep. Like, I think the point of going to bed is getting rested enough and going to bed tired and not trying to fight sleep, because it's all about having a natural sleep. Because I've done that sleep math where you're like, okay, I was up, I got like 3 hours of sleep last night. And if I get so many, it'll equal 8, and then that'll even out into, and then I'll get like 14 hours this other time. So that never works. Your body has a certain level of sleep that you want. Now, how much of it like affects you? I mean, there are some people that they only need 2 to 4 hours sleep a night. That's and I'll be linking those in a minute. Like, I've just got a couple of bookmarks I'll be sharing, and we can go into discussion. But it's like there's I've got charts
How
of
many bookmarks do you have, man? Gosh.
You've obviously never read the blogs for our posts. I'm actually, I could show you some of Ian's where it is literally wall of links, and I had to go through and add titles to each one.
Yes, not a dissertation.
But yeah, I mean, I've got, like I was saying though, I mean, a lot of the thing is, like, some articles will basically rehash what a couple other articles said. They're like, oh, check out this other article on hacking your sleep, and it's like, no, they just mentioned the idea of sleeping twice. It's like, so rethinking sleep is another one of those that talks about, I believe it talks about, a link I clicked is redirected in seconds. Yeah, that link's been open for a while, computer. But yeah,
it's a good idea to have multiple sources, so you get a general idea.
Yeah. Now, here's an article that we might find interesting. 19 successful people who barely sleep. Chuck Norris doesn't sleep; he waits. But a small group, 1 to 3% of the population, are among the sleepless elite who are able to get by happily on just a few hours of sleep. So the Yahoo CEO, Marissa Mayer, let's see, gained a reputation for working extremely hard at Google, working as many as 130 hours some weeks, leaving little time for sleep. The Guardian reports that she only needs 4 to 6 hours a night. She recharges by taking week-long vacations every 4 months. See, that's another thing about having a crunch time sleep schedule like that. You know, like with diets. There are some that are like, you take this crazy extreme diet, but don't do it back to back. You do that, and then you take like 2 weeks off. Or, or like nurses in hospitals, they're like, you have to be on call for like 48 hours or whatever, but then you have to be off for so many, or like firemen are on some similar schedules. I don't know. Some crazy stuff. A lot of CEOs on this list. Jack Dorsey, Twitter founder and Square CEO. Let's see. Crazy. Donald Trump. Well, I'm not going to say anything
Trump
about that.
Doesn't have to sleep. His fake hair does it for him.
Excluding all political things, like when Donald Trump, there's this thing that was going around Facebook where they had him talking about like, oh sure, things, Obamacare is just going to get paid for it, and everyone's like, yeah, this is a great comment. I'm just like, such foresight from the guy who's casino declared bankruptcy 3 times. So I don't know. He's a character, Donald. I mean, Kelly Ripa, Jay Leno. Let's see. In addition to hosting the Tonight Show, Leno still manages to tour on the comedy circuit, averaging over 150 gigs a year. Perhaps mimicking some of the people that stay up to watch his 11:35 p.m. show, Leno only sleeps about 5 hours a night. Let's see. Indira Nooyi, chairman and CEO of PepsiCo.
PepsiCo.
His own product.
Meager 4 hours a night. Somebody got a car driving by?
That's not me. I think it's Doug.
Somebody's outside probably, hopping or hot rodding.
Oh, Willie Guest of MSNBC. Let's see. Airs on weekdays at 5:30 a.m. He rises before the sun at 3:30 a.m.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, I don't know. Everyone has their own little quotes about themselves. Fiat CEO, former PepsiCo CEO, fashion designer and director. I mean, I don't know. I guess if you're like Martha Stewart, of course, would it surprise anybody if Martha Stewart doesn't sleep that much? I mean,
she had to get used to that prison clock,
Condoleezza Rice is on there. The president, he doesn't always get those 6 hours of sleep. Bill Clinton also gets a little sleep. He was renowned for sleeping only 5 or 6 hours a night throughout his presidency. There's Edison, Benjamin Franklin. Let's see, Nikola Tesla. That's always pretty awesome. 5 hours. A lot of these people seem to like 5 hours. I personally like 6. Once I get 5, I feel like I could use some more,
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
So there's that one. Also, let me close the subscribe button. Don't you just love that when you click on an article and then a little thing comes up, subscribe to our website? Yeah, you just totally blocked your website's content from me. Why would I ever subscribe to your thing? That annoys me.
My favorite is like when I click on a hot link that I have saved to my homepage. It's like, place a link to our page on your homepage. Really? You can't tell that I have already done that?
My favorite is the pop-up ads that, like, if you accidentally mouse over it, it does a full-screen video.
Oh, God, I hate that.
Yeah, I'm like, why would you do this? Why would you ever...
Why do you hate me?
No, Yahoo, I do not want to watch Arrow on the CW.
Look, okay, it's alright, we've seen this once already. I don't know, but getting back to famous people, how did famous creative people spend their days? And it has a nice visual graph of the 24-hour day, and like you get Mozart's 24-hour day. Let me just try and open this up in the bigger window here. Yeah, you can see how it's split up. Like they've got blocks for socializing, blocks for sleeping, blocks when they're awake, and like you get some that are pretty regular, and then you get like the eccentric who his thing is like scattered all over everything.
Yeah.
It's got Charles Darwin's regular schedule, Maya Angelou, Ludwig van Beethoven, and Mozart.
Interesting.
And now you're going to just study them. Well, I tell us.
Like recently, come on.
Why there's no recent people? You tell me Maya Angelou isn't recent? She knows why the cage bird sings.
Years.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, people probably.
I think it'd be interesting to see, like, if it had a more recent style,
Well, I mean, it kind of depends. Like, I'm sure, like that other article I just linked where they talk about CEOs stuff and everything. It's like, yeah, that's what's reported today. They did that for like 6 months. Now they're not doing it anymore. I'd like to have like the idea of like this creative genius that's written in history only slept 5 hours. I don't know. It's just a nice one. There's also famous people and their sleep habits, which is a Pinterest board where they post some people. I mean, there's Margaret Thatcher's on there, and then you got the Martha again, Jay Leno, Clinton. Some of these are going to be the same. I don't know. It hasn't Mariah Carey over there.
Do we have to count Leno? Do we have to?
Hey. Like Stewie Griffin said, man. Hey, the guy does his thing. He's reliable. He comes in. He does the work. He leaves.
He comes in. He does the work, and he goes.
Yeah. There's another sleep. Let's see, more famous people. I mean, some of these have repeats, and some, like Winston Churchill, Napoleon. They also
repeat and repeat.
Two brothers jump in a boat. One jumps up. Anyway. Oh yeah, Thomas Edison, power napper, the great inventor on sleep and success. And then, I mean, some of these are like, these are all just. I mean, these links right now are just. External reading. Read amongst your friends, children. They're interesting articles. Oh yeah, now here's a website called bedtie.me. So it spells bedtime. It's a bedtime calculator. I have to wake up at, and then, or find out when to wake up if you go to bed now. So it's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
So you can click the little Z's. Like if I went to bed now, it takes the average human 14 minutes to fall asleep. If you head to bed right now, you should try to wake up at one of the following times: 10:06 p.m. or 11:36 p.m. or 1:06 a.m. or 2:36 a.m. or 4:06 a.m. or 5:36 a.m. A good night's sleep consists of 5 to 6 complete sleep cycles.
Do you ever fall asleep to the TV? Because
No.
I can't do that, man. I don't know how people do it. It's like they're zombie, man, or something.
Well, some people, my mom and I are very different on the concept of white noise. Like she'll leave the TV on and go do stuff, and I'm like, no, I hear that, and it's like this person's talking, and I have to sit and listen to what they say or turn it off. And she's like, no, I just want the noise. Like, no, you left it on somebody talking.
I love.
It's not like music.
Background noise. Like even last night, I was doing a little bit of rearranging here in the office, and like I was listening to interviews with the guys like Alice in Chains and Corey Taylor, just going through and listening to the interview and whatnot, and still kind of taking in what's being said, and still getting done what I'm getting done. I can do the same thing as falling asleep too. I can fall asleep with television on. Like last night, I actually fell asleep to Corey Taylor was at Oxford University. I fell asleep with the earbuds in, listening to his speech. So,
they say that subconsciously you are still taking that information in, even if you're not really listening to it or you're asleep.
Now, I've heard people say that that's called osmosis, but isn't that what plants use? I mean,
Osmosis Jones.
Yeah, I don't know. I understand the idea, and like on some level, you are learning things. Like I've fallen asleep listening to podcasts just because I've been exhausted, but I always wake up when the podcast becomes too loud for me to sleep through. So like I'll have a dream for like half of it where I'm listening to these guys talk, and I wake up and go, "What the? Oh, it was you, Scarecrow, and you."
Ben, you are someone. You are someone, Ben.
Well, I have an app on my
important.
I have an app on my phone that I use sometimes when I need to have that power sleep, where it's like, we're going to tell you how to relax. Don't listen to this recording when you're driving your automobile or working machinery. And then it talked, like you think, oh, this is going to be lame or whatever, but like after he starts going, let the muscles in your neck relax. Focus on your shoulder. And after a while, you're just like, okay, I'm down. I mean, I was thinking you were full of it like 5 minutes ago. I'm into it now. Okay. So
there is science that says a lot of that subliminal stuff does have some truth behind it,
Well, there's that, and there's the concept that, hypnosis only works if you believe you can be hypnotized.
So you have to be weak-minded then, right?
Well, no, you have to be accepting of the idea that, I believe that hypnosis can work, therefore I will be hypnotized. If you go in and you don't believe in hypnosis, you are not going to become hypnotized. I mean...
It's about a mental commitment to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like, you can't believe you're going to break a bone if somebody hits you, but it's like, if you don't believe that this erogenous zone exists, if somebody tells you, hey, it would feel really good if I touched you here, and you're like, what? No. But then
there is no spoon, Ben.
Placebo effect and stuff. Yeah. I mean, there is science to the placebo effect. They say that, as long as you believe it, well, who are they not to,
There is no spoon. You can jump across this building.
Why can't you eat soup in the Matrix? Because there is no spoon, Ian. All right, so now here's some apps. Now, well, I'm going to link to some apps real quick. These things won't be too. We're not going to be too heavy, and we can have some nice discussions about the topics. This is a Light Awake. It's a sunrise simulator. Like I said, I mean, I use a free one. I don't use this one in particular, but it's a nice thing to recognize. There's also other iOS sunrise alarms. A number of these are free on this link here. And we've got a sleep cycle alarm, a bio alarm clock that analyzes your sleep patterns and wakes you when you are in the lightest sleep phase. So, like that sleep time website, I should be sleeping now, so this is my best time to wake up based on cycles.
Yeah, isn't there something like that's another point that you just brought up is like the different stages of sleep, like when you're sleeping light or really hard, it's like really bad for you to be awakened from like really hard sleep, I think
there's the whole REM sleep and stuff like that.
Yeah, they say you're supposed to get like at least bare minimum of like 4 or 5 hours of REM sleep, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Soul Sun Clock. Sunrise, sunset, and golden hours. Solar alarm clock. Juggleware, LLC. It's a nice... And then, of course, I'll also link to a sunrise alarm for a Google Play for the Google people out there.
There's
you better link that.
There's only one alarm that you need. I'm not even sure if it's been invented yet.
The sun? Yeah, I don't know when they're going to invent that either, man.
No, see, I got it, and everyone will love it too. You ever seen Despicable Me 2?
No. I've been meaning to see
the trailer for it.
I've seen some. Is it the little kids?
No, the little minion with the big megaphone going Beedo, 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 Beedo. The kids will love it. Parents will love it until they get annoyed with it. But
I think there's iPhone apps that probably do that. I mean, you could set an alarm with an audio sound real easy. I mean, I think the native iPhone does that. And then here's 6 alarm clock apps for OS X, and Wake Up Light alarm clock for the Mac.
I always like that one song from Rage Against the Machine. Wake up!
You mean the one from when I talk to people and they're like, I don't know what Rage Against the Machine sounds like. I'm like, did you ever see The Matrix? Oh yeah. You know that song they play at the end when he's flying out of the telephone booth? Well yeah, that's Rage Against the Machine. Oh.
Lights out, Guerrilla Radio.
Yeah, I love that song, man.
Yeah. Now, there's a Lifehacker article on. I believe they're talking about that app that I just linked. The Wake Up Light uses your Mac to simulate a sunrise and wake you up gradually in the morning. Now, seeing as how my Mac, I usually don't sleep in the same room as my Mac, so that doesn't work for me. But for For Windows people, here's a sunrise clock and alarm.
Thank you.
You Windows people. It's $1.49, so enjoy it. Also, there are physical sun alarms. Now, this is an important thing to think about because sometimes your device just shines up to the ceiling. You're just like, whatever. I don't know. So, my iPad, I kind of have to point it at me for the light to be enough. Like, I don't know if it's just recently because we might have painted my bedroom and that might have changed it. I don't know if that's what it is or just I've gotten colder and harder to wake up.
Yeah, what do you think about those laser clocks? Like those
what?
ones that shine on your ceiling or whatever?
Well, it's cute, and if you want to pretend you're living in the future, but it's like until it's an actual hologram that comes up and says, "Hello, how's it going?"
Don't lie. The only thing you're waiting for is to be able to press the little button. The hologram comes on. It's like, Obi-Wan, wake up! You're my only hope.
No, but I mean, like I was saying though, you can buy physical clocks that simulate light and do things, or like this life hacker article, you can build your own. So you can simulate a nice sunrise. And there's also Instructables if you have an Arduino, I believe, they have a nice DIY alarm, which, for the makers that listen to this show, I think you're going to enjoy this one. And gentle rousing alarm clocks, good housekeeping.
What's it called? Gentle what?
Gentle rousing alarm clocks. Digital Zen bamboo B-tone, now and Zen, $110.
Do you like to be gently aroused, Ben?
Anyway, but
oh man.
Oh, you guys. But I do believe though that it's good to go to bed ready to sleep. That's the biggest thing that for having a good day the next day. The night before is the best. Is going to decide if you have a good wake up. If you go to bed ready to sleep, all right. If you go to bed not wanting to sleep and it's like I'm not ready for it, but I'm going to sit here and close my eyes and pout till I do. It never happens, does it?
Yeah.
So you can't force it, and it's just I don't know. We've talked about it on the show before. Prep time, giving yourself a chance to get some sleep and not be disrupted, not having a lot of crap going on.
Yeah. Well, could I say something too? I think one point you probably didn't put in your notes is it's probably a good idea to actually have a decent bed to begin with. What are your thoughts on memory foam and all that stuff?
I've got memory foam toppers on my bed. I like them because my bed is kind of hard. Well, I've had historically the worst bed ever. My box springs. There were no springs in them originally.
What's your comfort number, Ben?
Anything. I've literally had a bed so bad that I started sleeping on the floor because I couldn't sleep in it anymore.
Oh shit!
And yeah. My back would literally knot up, and my old bed, like I said, the box springs didn't have springs in them. I didn't realize this because I'd been sleeping on it. My mom got it for me when my parents split up or whatever, and I got, I didn't know where they got it, but then when we were moving and I lifted up, I'm like, this box spring doesn't have any springs. It's a bunch of beams going across, and the beams aren't one piece of wood. Like this one right here is split, and it's got another board supporting the little break in it. So, that explains why the mattress had a huge dip in the middle. So they're like, oh, we don't need to get another box spring. We'll just take a giant piece of plywood and lay it under your mattress.
Nice.
So yeah, exactly. So and after a while, I literally would wake up in the middle of the night, my back twisting, and have to ride on the floor. And I'd be like, you know what? No, we're getting a new one.
No.
We're not doing this anymore. So we've got, and my mom was like, oh, I don't know if they just sell box springs. And they went to the store and they're like, yeah, we'll just sell you box springs, but we just want your money. I mean, that's quite it. And I got one of those memory foam toppers. It was kind of weird because my bed all of a sudden got very tall, and I got the memory foam pillows, and it's like, I don't usually, I wouldn't normally lay on my back when I would try to sleep because, like, the back of my head would go numb and tingly and it would be weird. And, like, I couldn't sleep like that, but when we had the memory foam, it's like, you just lay there, it's like, I'm sinking into this just enough. Okay, I'm going to sleep.
Yeah. Well, do you think different people do, like, need different firmnesses and even, like, those beds that you can change the temperature on them and stuff? I mean, do you think all that is just, like, extra crap?
Definitely.
Yeah, it's all what you need, what you feel you need. Right, Doug?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
you work at Walmart. How many beds do you guys sell over there, man?
You don't really sell too many beds, actually. It's not
really?
particularly in the furniture department.
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you this. I mean, over the years, I've slept in some janky beds, and I've slept in some good beds. I can tell you right now, I've slept every which way. I can get comfortable on anything. But I know some people who, like, they need a very specific firmness. I mean,
oh yeah, you get that rock hard pillows and mattress.
It's either they need the softest thing available, or they need a completely, like, bed of rock with spikes coming out, or they need a water bed. I mean,
water beds, I heard, are, like, terrible for you, man.
Well, they are, because any motion, it gets transferred right to you, and also they keep the same water from, like, 1975. So, yeah.
Let me tell you.
I listened to a podcast episode, a Smodcast, where they said Malcolm was sleeping in this waterbed from the 70s, and, like, it broke. So all of a sudden, just this water from the 70s with, like, mildew and all this stuff just spills out, and he's like, "Whoa, this is gross."
Yeah. I just feel bad for people that are just wrecking their backs and pretty much ruining their health, when those people that just constantly sleep on couches,
For a while there, when we were pretty low on money, I was sleeping on a futon. It was a pretty cheap futon.
Oh, jeez.
But, I mean, I can tell you definitively that I've never slept as good as I've slept on a waterbed. And once you get used to that motion, like, if you're someone who can get used to that type of motion, it's...
So you're saying it's the motion of the ocean, Doug?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, I hate to be like the guy that I have to have this and I have to have that, but it's like, I know what I am, and I like to just move.
I am's what I am's.
And that's all that's I am. I'd like to just move.
That's all that I sleeps.
Well, I like to think of my bed the same way I like to think of my studio, which is, like, I'm all about removing as much friction as possible. It's like, why add steps that make something complicated? It's like, if the light bothers my eyes when I'm trying to sleep, I get blackout curtains. If there's too much noise, I try and either put on soothing music that'll block it out, or I do something, I mean, I don't know, because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, you want your bed to be where you go to forget about the rest of the world and go into that slumber. And, like, if you're going in tensed up and, like, when people talk about going to work and coming home, it's like, you come home, you leave what you had at the office at the office. If you keep it with you, you're going to be going, and you can't fall asleep. You ever had that, guys? Or, like, somebody will say something to you, and then you have to go to bed, or, like, they leave and you can't get a hold of them, and it's like, I'm mad, and you go to bed mad, and you're just like,
Yeah. Well, I know you said that, like, the average sleeping time is like 15 minutes for people, and I'm probably about there, but sometimes if you're, like, really tired, you just can't even remember the last thought that you had.
Oh, yeah.
You fell asleep,
you lay down, you're like, man, I sure hope I really...
Well, I remember when I had my wisdom teeth out, like, they took my weight so they could get an accurate measurement of the stuff in the IV. They sit me down, and, like, they're prepping me, and the doctor's talking about his kids going to the Cub Scouts or something. So they talk about, oh yeah, you go out to the weekend jamboree, and they have, like, 15, 20 kids there, and, like, the whole time I'm like, man, this is really boring. So it's I like when you go to bed and it's like, I'm trying to think of something, like, okay, I'm going to start planning out my day and think about what tomorrow and what I'm going to do, and I'm going to get all this stuff done. And then after a while, you're just like, you're trying to hold your thoughts together, and you're like, so I'm going to think about, hey, remember that one hot chick I saw this afternoon? She was hot, man. No, I'm trying to think about my day. Thinking about day. Okay, think.
Yeah. And I do have to admit though, it definitely isn't like those commercials for the like those mattress commercials where like the person just gets up and they stretch and they're like already ready for the day. It's all sunshiny in the room too.
Now, all right, let's talk about the perfect wake up. Like, how often have you had those days where you get up and it's like, you know what, I could go to work. I think I'm going to get up and good. It's good,
Well, I'm sorry. I was just going to say I take like a long time to get up. I'm probably worse than most people getting up.
I'm like that sometimes.
Ask my wife that question, man.
There are some days.
2 hours to get up.
There are literally days where it'll be 4 a.m. and I'll be like, I'm awake. I'm just gonna get up, and like my alarm was set for like 5 or 6, and it's like, why am I up now? I just woke up. I'm ready. I'm like, that's just like with going to sleep. Like you can't force it. I think that's why I have like the quiet music alarm. It eases into the day, and it's like if I'm awake before my alarm and it's early enough to get up for the day, it's not like 1 a.m. If it's like an hour or 2 hours before when my alarm will get up, I'll just get up. Because I'd much rather go with the flow of it and be ready for the day than have to be there and like, no, I'm gonna get that extra hour of sleep I want. I'm gonna make myself sleep.
Well, do you know people? Because I admire those people that are like clockwork, man. They don't even use an alarm,
In college, I didn't use I had to for some things like getting up in the morning, but like I would take naps before class and I would always wake myself up before class. I only ever slept through one class one time. And that was because I literally didn't sleep, I think 2 nights before or something. Like, I went, finals week being an art major, Ian can attest to this.
Yes, I can.
It's like you literally, you can type up a paper before class. You can't make a painting or a printing appear unless you literally are spending time in the studio. So if you don't allocate that during the week or during your weekend or right before class, you're going to be up that night. And so I literally worked in the printmaking studio till I can't physically do things. I'm going to go back to my dorm, and I wandered out back to my dorm, climbed in my room, climbed up to the bunk bed, and the minute I laid down, went to class, and then I slept through. I had the same professor 2 classes in a row, so I slept through the first one. I came in, and I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. I woke up like half an hour through or whatever, and I was like, I'm already late. It's like, I need sleep. This ain't happening. I'm sorry. She's like, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. What about you, Doug? Were you saying you said your wife is pretty bad about getting up, or?
No, she hates me getting up. It's like if you're thinking about somewhere on the lines of me getting up at a particular time, like clockwork, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
That's the thing. It's like, Ian and I, we're both single dudes. It's like I've never shared bed space with somebody overnight on a regular basis like that. I've slept over at people's places and people crash at my house and things like that. But it's like I can't imagine having to live with somebody and it's you both have to go to work and if you have different times. If somebody else wakes up if I'm in a room and somebody else in that room wakes up to go to work, it's like, well, I'm awake now.
Yeah, definitely me too, man. Are you just a generally light sleeper?
I'm not. This guy, alcohol. You will catch me just kind of if I'm asleep. I've literally slept through parties, and I've slept through extreme storms and stuff like that. I used to just be able to just go and be out for 18 hours. Mm-hmm. There was one time, I can't remember what I was doing, but I've been doing something. It had been a really strenuous day, not work, but I was some type of activity, and I slept for 2 days straight.
Wow.
And I had that blocked off. That way I was like, oh, well, I'll sleep one day, and I'll have the next 2 days to myself. I'm just out. I got up maybe once or twice to use the restroom, but for the amount of time in between, it was just complete gone. Boom, boom. And sleeping with someone like in the bed next to you, it's not, you get used because, like, of course, she has her alarm and I have mine. And, of course, like, we know each other's alarm. So it's actually quite easy to be able to kind of temper yourself to either wake up when they wake up if you want, or you can go back to sleep.
Yeah, do you snore pretty hard? Because I know some people have that, like, sleep apnea or whatever.
I got tested for sleep apnea, but I snore really, really lightly. Like, I got tested for sleep apnea, and I actually passed.
Oh, okay.
Like, when I went to have it done, have my sleep study done, they're like, well, pretty much almost everyone has it in some form or another. And you're going to need this, $1,000 CPAP machine, and you got to wear the mask. Like, I don't know if you've seen it on my Facebook page, Ben, but it's like, it looks like you're hooked up to the Weapon X machine. And, like, I'm sitting there. I would do the 2-night sleep study. Now, the doctor was like, oh, yeah, you definitely snore. And I'm like, well, no, duh, I definitely snore. You got all this hooked up to me. I can't sleep the way I would normally sleep. And the second night, they hooked me up to the CPAP machine with all the sensors and stuff. And they're like, well, how'd you sleep? I was like, honestly, I slept better the night before when I didn't have the mask on and looked like I was a jet fighter pilot.
Yeah. Well, it sucks because you can't turn over or anything,
Yeah, I know. You got, okay, can you see me in the Hangouts?
Well, let me just click to you.
And let me click to you, too.
Hi.
Okay, so here's what you got going on, okay? You got a sensor here, you got a sensor here, you have a sensor, like, you actually have almost like a circuit board around your neck, okay? So you got this big block of sensors right here that everything plugs into. They have to, it's almost like a...
So you're almost Iron Man, is what you're saying.
Dead serious, dude. It's, like, you got, oh man, you got something... Oh man, I can't remember it offhand. You got sensors all over your head because they're monitoring your brain activity.
What?
They're monitoring. They got stuff on your back. They got sensors on your back. They got sensors on your legs. They got sensors on your arms. You literally look like you're hooked up like Iron Man. It actually is true. And not just that. The night where you actually have the CPAP on, you got the mask. So you got this big manifest over your head, and it actually looks like this. Almost.
So you're Bane then, okay.
At the very least, you have like I got one of the newer ones that they were testing out. So you got basically went up your nose like this, and then wrapped around. So I'm sitting there like, how am I supposed to sleep correctly, with all this crap on me?
Yeah.
But that's how they do it. But I actually passed it. They were like, no. The doctor said, well, honestly, you're really borderline, but it's not enough for you to warrant a CPAP. And I think the sleep study people are very upset by that because, like, almost everybody you'll meet that takes a sleep apnea study or does a sleep study for that, the doctor will tell them that, okay, you have sleep apnea.
Yeah.
Well, no
Have
shit,
you ever...
damn test,
It's like that thing with the theons that the Scientologists use. It's like, hey, did you know that you're into Scientology now? Because we're talking to you. We're doing the counseling. So,
yeah. Have you ever tried those things that keep your mouth open with the jaw? It's like a mouthpiece or whatever that's supposed to help with snoring and stuff. That's more for like really light cases, maybe like borderline like yours,
It's basically the way that the mouthpiece is supposed to work is you get fitted for it, you gotta wear it, and it actually brings your jaw forward to open up the airway. Yeah. I've actually found that you don't have to actually get it done. You can just get a regular mouthpiece that you can fit yourself.
Oh, okay.
They're out there. It's basically you do the mold yourself. Everything is done on your own. So.
Now, Ben, I have a question for you. Obviously, if you have to go to work or whatever, it's like a really huge necessity to get up. But are you one of those types of people that considers like if you get up and then you like lay in bed on your iPad or your phone or whatever, do you still consider that like not getting up?
Well, really it comes down to you have to be making stuff in the studio. I have art apps on my iPad, but I haven't really, iPad time is still mostly farting around time. And it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, like I've got that, like I said with the music alarm. I'll play it and I'll be laying there for a while listening to a few songs before I decide, okay, I'm awake enough. Because I think it was Daniel Tosh. I could be confused on this. He had this bit where he said that he always was late for class in morning classes because when he was half asleep, he had this guy in his head that he called Sleepy Dave. That was like a janitor. He'd like, oh, Sleepy Dave, I gotta get up and go to my class. And he's like, why go to class when you can ski down a mountain with popsicle sticks and or you can like ski down, a slope of pancakes with forks for sticks. And it's like, oh, Sleepy Dave, how can I fight you? And it's like that's how I am in the morning. It's like I'm sitting there, I know I need to get up, but depending on how tired I am. Which is why I try to go to bed at a decent time. If I try and force myself to go to sleep, I fight myself all night. But if I get up and I'm tired, I'm awake. I'm in my brain. I'm going, I need to get up. Why am I turning? No, don't curl back up in that pillow. I'm there. I'm aware enough of it, but I need. Now I'm so tightly wound up that if I need to be up somewhere, I'm usually up half the night thinking about it. And then then the next day it's like, well, I'm awake now. I got to be at that thing. I hate this thing. Why do I have to be at this thing? No, I'm going to this thing. They're giving me a whole bunch of money. I hate the thing. I just wish I didn't have to deal with the thing. So anyway.
Yeah. Now, did you want to talk about some of the ways that you can help to get on schedule or whatever? Because I know I was talking about last week about how you can they have lights that green lights they can shine on you to help you readjust if your clock is off from you have jet lag from coming from other states or countries.
Oh yeah, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie have an entire room in their house so their kids when they get off the jets they can just go in it and the jet lag phases away.
Yeah, I don't even know how that would work.
Well, it's something with your body gets used to certain lights. I mean, it makes some sense in that if you use one of those sunrise alarm clocks, and it tricks your body into thinking, just like with the whole seasonal affective disorder, and you get the sun lamp, and it makes your body think, no, it's daylight, it's not cold and dark and dreary, it's like. How human beings respond to light it's kind of weird, but we are a little bit solar powered. I like having my blackout shades in my room for if I'm trying to go to sleep and it's too late and the sun starts rising when I don't want to be up. But if I'm trying to wake up and the room is pitch black, I'm not having as good a time of it as I am if I have something that's coming to light and going, hey, it's time to get up, human being.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. You gotta love back at AIP with the computer labs out, it was like a cave. They had all the windows closed and they had black curtains over it, and it was just they have glowing monitors, and it's that's horrible for your eyes, man.
well, my last year at art school, it was I had a computer art class, and it's the lab was always dimmed out, and I always would listen to this smooth jazz station on the internet radio, and it's it worked, and now when I got out of college and I started again, I was like, hey, let me try this, and I realized, oh, I can't listen to really peaceful, relaxing music while I'm trying to work. That puts me to sleep. So now I listen to a lot of music now that I never thought I'd listen to when I was in college and going to school, because I listen to a lot of Anna Monoguchi, and I listen to a lot of stuff, a lot of video game soundtracks, a lot of instrumental stuff, because I have the problem that if I'm trying to be creative and I hear somebody talk, and as much as I'm trying to focus my own attention, I just hear the other person talking. So unless it's something I've heard a billion times and can just tune out as noise, it's usually instrumentals. So I listen to a lot of weird stuff, and then Dragon Force, because.
Yeah.
You want some seriousness, Core, listen to something like Enter Shikari or Horse the Band. You're going to be like, what is going on here? Horse the Band, they have a song called Cutsman, and it's based off of Mega Man Boss.
Mega Man. Well, I mean, let me just take a look at my Spotify playlist I've got. So I've got a lot of weird game music that I didn't think I would, but it's Super Meat Boy, the official soundtrack, the extended cut. That. You all right there? I've got that. Retro City Rampage, which, you know, that's all like tributes to old NES chip tunes and stuff, but it's really good and it's got a lot of energy. Also, I've got the Rayman soundtracks, so like Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends, with those. Have you ever played those games?
I really haven't.
They got the little lums that they're these little happy guys. Every time you like get one of their coins or something, they start singing la 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 la. It's like it's the happiest game you ever play. Like, I can't be in a bad mood.
Conversation should end right here. I'm not sure if we should go forward with this.
Well, I've heard people say, like, I've watched some Let's Players play the game. They're like, you know, if they ever make another Earthworm Jim kind of game, these guys need to make it. So, it's a fun game, and the music to it, there's a lot of like weird, sounds like Hawaiian music, and there's like weird, like world music. It's a nice weird soundtrack, and it's very happy. I just like to listen to happy stuff while I'm working, because it's like, I know it's lame to say, oh, you gotta psych yourself up and be happy, and it's like, no, you kind of do need to be in a good mood. You can't listen to like dreary, depressing, let's all be sad and depressed.
Yeah.
Flashy goodness.
You should be listening to.
Yeah, Flashy Goodness is another chiptune band. Like, if you go to their website, they have, well, I think it's one guy, but he has like all his albums. You can listen to them streaming on his site or buy them, and it's like he's only got one album on Spotify, but you know, it's really good. It's really chiptuney stuff. It's really awesome.
Yeah, you were mentioning dreary. I forgot to say that. I always thought it was funny, like, when with the dark computer labs at AIP, it's funny when the room is all dark and then you have a teacher come in and just turns on all the light. Everybody's like, oh, they're like all like vampires.
Under the tables. Precious Macintosh. Yeah, I remember being in you know, back at AIP, being in the computer lab and be working on a project, and inevitably I'd hear, "Zombie." I'm just, after a while, after about 2 hours, you're just like, I will buy everyone in this room a set of headphones that they would shut the, you know. I mean, the argument is, people say, oh, well, why don't you just put on headphones? Well, I physically don't like wearing them for extended periods of time. They hurt my ears, and also, when you're, you know, it's just like smoking. It's one of those things, it's like, when you directly put something into your body, like, sounds directly into your ears, that's a little bit different than, you know, like, I wouldn't like do a 3D virtual reality simulator for like 10 hours straight either. You know, it's like,
yeah,
it's like a kind of a temporary thing. You know, it's better for you. Like, you know, back in the day, I used to wear headphones all the time, and I realized, no, just have speakers. It's better for your hearing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. What do you think about those people that's crazy that you're saying like 10 hours a day? What do you think about those? It's crazy you hear in the news about like some Asian kid died just from playing like days straight of games.
Well, I mean, they didn't eat, they didn't sleep, and it's like your body needs you know, certain things. You have requirements. So.
Well, I think didn't they technically die from like some kind of blood clot in their leg or whatever from?
Well, yeah, your body isn't always meant to be just sitting down. I mean, eventually. Like, that's why, like, in a lot of the office jobs, like my second job, no, they encourage you getting up every once in a while. They want you to take a break. I mean, they want you to stay active. It's not healthy just to be doing this for an extended period of time. I mean, your circulation isn't meant to be hindered by the bend in your waist and the bend in your knee. No, you're meant to be, you know, standing straight up and, you know, have your circulation go correctly. And also, I mean, working with your bodily functions as a standard. Seriously, I mean, if you cannot bother to get up to go pee or to have a sandwich, have a damn sandwich, you know?
Did you hear in the news about, it's so disgusting that I guess there's a growing trend in like China or Japan, I think it was, where they had adult diapers so they could boost productivity. I mean,
like that astronaut chick that went to go fight her like her lovers cheaters. I don't know. I don't know. It's just just like with going to sleep and everything, it's like bodily things. It's like you want to stay regular, and I kind of do things to like if I go out to eat or something, it's like, okay, now that I've eaten, it's time to go poo. It's like, do that stuff now because you're going to do it. You just added a bunch of stuff into the mix. Don't be like, oh, I can take it. Be driving down the road and go, oh no.
Well, it depends on what you eat too. Like if you eat enough fruits and vegetables and roughage and stuff, that's important.
Well, you want to have variety because, like, if you just live off of cheese and bread, which
dude,
it's not good for you. I mean,
I gotta get bread and milk. I gotta get the bread and milk.
As a vegetarian, it's like it's very easy to get just a lot of bread and cheese. It's like, well, fine, then I'll just not put no meat on it. Now I just got a whole bunch of bread and cheese. It's like after a while, I should get something else.
Yeah.
just like if you eat meat, it's like after a while, it's like I should probably eat some
meat.
What do you want? Meat. All right. What do you want it on? What do you want it on? Meat. All right. What do you want to drink with it?
Meat.
Technically, you can actually drink meat right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is possible.
Drink
because
blood.
I got beef protein drink sitting right over there.
Well, think
I
about
need
that.
blood.
Well, think about KFC and how they had the sandwich made of like, hey, we took some chicken and then we put some chicken on it instead of bread, and now it's a chicken sandwich. Yeah, and it's like, well, it's like, well, that's kind of really. But on the other hand, it's like it's still less depressing than the Ultimate Sadness Bowl. So.
Or yeah, that McGangbang where it's like two patties and then the chicken patty.
The McGangbang? Yeah.
Yeah.
Never heard of that one. I can say that with absolute certainty.
Look it up. The McGangbang. That's like
there's the McGangbang, and then there's the Mc1045, where you go through when they're getting rid of their breakfast stuff, and you get the Egg McMuffin, and then you get like what is it, like the quarter pounder or something, and you slap it in there.
And then and they have the meat cube, which is like 4 patties or something like that. At Wendy's with the square patties.
At Wendy's, why they have the square patties?
Why?
Because they don't like to cut corners.
Yeah,
that's
So basically, there's like a whole Kama Sutra.
Yeah, but anyway. As long as we're talking about fast food stuff, guys, have either of you tried the Taco Bell breakfast?
That's a negatory.
It's so bad, you have no idea.
I have done it, guys. It is I've seen.
Well, obviously without the sausage.
Yeah, but that's the thing about Taco Bell. They're the most accommodating place to eat if you're a vegetarian because they're like, we'll take whatever out. We don't whatever you want, man. So I got there. I was like, I went to the counter and I was like, okay, guys, I'm a vegetarian. I everything I get, you guys just take the meat off. So it's like, let's do this. I'll take one of everything on the breakfast menu without meat on it. See what we can do here.
With extra meat.
No. The thing is, it's as for what it is, it's like if you're just gonna like, it's definitely drive-through stuff because like we went into the restaurant, everyone like behind us went in, but they put everybody in to-go bags, so they assume no, you didn't really get this to eat this here. This is not what you really do, right? You're going somewhere, right? You're just on like the way to the gym, and you're like, I don't have a power bar. I'll get this waffle taco, right? So
right.
Now.
Hashtag waffle taco.
I will say I enjoyed the Taco Bell breakfast. I wouldn't like if you gave me a choice of going to a real breakfast restaurant versus the Taco Bell, I would have a real breakfast somewhere else. But if this was like, hey, you can either have like a morning breakfast bar or you can have the Taco Bell breakfast. It's pretty much like a dessert. It's a really sweet breakfast overall, and. I mean, the waffle taco tastes like am I eating like candy for breakfast? What's going on with this? But the weirdest thing.
You have another word for that, right?
What?
Diabetes.
I watched the Cinema Snob that Brad tries. He tried that waffle taco and then that Crunch Wrap and a Crunch AM or whatever.
Yeah, I had pretty much the same response he did when I got the AM Crunchwrap, because I'd heard good things and I saw his video, and then I went. I knew it was going to be tangy, and I was munching. I was eating the hash brown in, and I was like, oh, it is tangy. Like, this is the last thing it's like, it's actually good. It's like, I would like, of the things I would have this again, and maybe the waffle taco, and then the little cinnamon delights. Those were good.
Yeah, I need to try those, man.
They're just like they're a nice sweet. They're like nice cream, and then they're just like dough.
That is walking diabetes, because you sit there and it's a pack of 4, and then all of a sudden the 4 are gone, and you're like, more.
Well, the thing is, I looked at the prices when because I told the guy I wanted everything, but he didn't give me those. So when we left, we got those for dessert, and I looked. I was like, wait, the 12-pack of them is $4.99? Yes, I will be getting the 12-pack.
Yes.
And it's like I know it's like, I mean, I'm not a sweets person. Like like I'll eat something occasionally that like a cookie or something, but it's like usually if I can taste the sugar, it's like I shouldn't be having this. So, but these I was like, nom 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 nom. My mom, I don't think my mom really cared for them though, and she's the person that buys the ice cream and all the sweets and crap. And she likes to do the guilt trip one where like, you want me to make you a waffle, a cone, ice cream cone? I'm like, you can eat one without having to offer me one, Mom. It's okay. I mean, I appreciate it, but it's like, if I want one, I probably go for it. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like I like the 12-pack of those. What are those called? The cinnamon?
The Cinnabon Delights, I believe.
Yeah, it's like I'll take a 12-pack of Cinnabon Delights. Just hold on, let me get my diabetes patch here so I can put it on the other side of my stomach.
Oh man, but
where's my insulin?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the AM Crunchwrap is good. I was a little disappointed though that they didn't have Mountain Dew AM. They're like, I told the guy at the counter, like, you don't have Mountain Dew AM? He's like, what's that? I'm like, I heard when they were testing it, like, it was like Mountain Dew and orange juice. I mean, Mountain Dew has orange juice in it, so it's not a stretch. Everyone's tried, like, yeah, it's pretty good, but they didn't have it there. And like, yeah, well, maybe you'll get that. It's kind of, oh, are you holding up the Baja Blast that came out this month?
Oh yeah, I want my Baja Blast. Give that to me.
It's an empty one, isn't it? I think it's a little late there.
Damn you.
Oh, man. Drink it whenever you want.
No, but here's the thing. Like, with me, I don't think I will ever buy it. Because that's the only soda
I'm leaving this podcast right now. You say you'll never buy it.
No, hear me out. Hear me out, Doug.
I'm done with you, man.
No.
Here's a friendship, dogs and cats, living together, mass hysteria. I'm out.
No. Hear me out. The reason I will never buy the bottled version is because Baja Blast is the only soda I still drink. Because when I got gout, I decided, I need to do something to lower my high frequency. Yeah, it's funny till you actually get it, Ian.
Just all you need to do is give in. Just bottle and bottle.
I wear these brown orthopedic shoes because I got a bad case of the gout.
You got a cane there too?
No, that's from Lunch Ladyland. Lunch Ladyland, hoagies and grinders, hoagies and all right. Meatloaf sandwich, sloppy Joe, sloppy. Anyway, so the thing is, I don't drink soda anymore. After I bought, I used to drink Sobe all the time, and that's when I really had my first real gout flare up. Is like we bought they had a sale on it, so we bought cases of the stuff. And I'm like, all right, this would be great. And I drank a bunch of them, and then my foot was like, Yeah, so I quit drinking soda. So Baja Blast is the only one I allow myself to drink when I go to Taco Bell. It's a treat I give myself. And now it's like, hey, you can have this treat whenever you want. Well, yeah, but I like my foot, and I like being able to walk. So so
Ben's like, no, I won't be me now. Screw that Sobe.
Well, it's like I have to save the Baja Blast as a special reward for only going to the magical land that is Taco Bell. I kind of have to, because unfortunately I think if I bought a lot of those, you wouldn't see me again. I would be unable to get out of bed, unable to walk, and
yeah. But how is it a magical land if it's really your magical home? If you're gonna be going to it every day, almost.
I don't go to Taco Bell every day. I mean, there are people that go to Taco Bell multiple times in a day.
Totally worth it. Totally worth it. Dude.
Well, I don't know, man. Sometimes, I mean, he and I have talked about before, like, getting, like, the Little Caesars $5 pizza, and it's like, it's already hot and ready. It's $5. And I know tomorrow I'm going to hate myself, but it's $5. Like, when I was in college, they had a $4 pizza that they were offering to students. And I'd be like, it's $4. It was this huge cheese pizza. I'd get it, and I'm like, oh, this is great, great. I would wake up the next day, why? What did I hate me, don't do it. And then inevitably the weekend would come around again, and I go, it's $4. It's
time to have some Crystal Pepsi with this now, too.
Oh, Crystal. Oh, man, don't do that to me, man. Come on. That was good times, man. That was back in the day.
Hey, you're the one showing that Baja Blast in front of me, man.
And when that's back today when you can get Crystal Pepsi, you can get clearly Canadian water, that's the awesome flavored water. You get like the Orbitz drink that had the lava, like basically the lava drink. Man, then Surge, come on, man. Oh, I miss Surge so much.
Yeah, whatever did happen? Well, what happened to that voltage that was like Coke's answer to Mountain Dew?
I don't know.
Or not? Well, what?
Were they the ones that were like all twice the caffeine and more of the sugar? I don't know, but I think the problem.
Jolt Cola. Oh my goodness, I miss Jolt Cola so much.
Well, yeah. The thing is, have you ever had a hillbilly juice? Yeah, like if you've had Mountain Dew, there's a variant of it called hillbilly juice, spelled with a Joose, and they've got a picture of like a guy with a shine bottle, and yeah.
I don't think they can carry that in regular stores. I think you have to be 21 to buy that.
They used to have it they used to have it at Kmart when we had one out here, but that's gone now. I like seeing all the various knockoff drinks, like the Dr. Thunder. It's like, I wonder what this is supposed to be. But then
Faygo.
No, here's the thing though.
Faygo's still around. You can get that at the corner market, man. Come on.
Of course, Faygo's still around. ICP keeps them in business. But the thing is, you got the Dr. Pepper, then you got your Dr. Thunder, but then if you go to Aldi's, you get the generic of the generic. So it's not even Dr. Thunder. It's Dr.
It's got a black label on it.
Well, actually, there are stores in like
Cola.
If you go to Europe, there are stores where all they have is a blank label and one word. So you can get a can of beer, and you can get
yeah.
I've seen that, and it's like that's good because whenever you watch the movie and the guy drops his beer brand beer, and he drops a bag of nut brand nuts, it's like. Yeah.
Well, that you always see in videos though with that Crystal Pepsi. It looks like well water, man. Like the ones that you're able to get from eBay or whatever.
Well, Brad tries. The first one he did, he got one that was, I think he said it was diet, and that or it had no preservatives in it, so his turned yellow. So it looked like pee, and he's like, you know what? That still tastes enough like Crystal Pepsi. I don't care what it looks like.
Yeah. And you'll get your Crystal Pepsi when I get my blue Pepsi back. I love that blue Pepsi.
That would be awesome.
They didn't stop making it in certain countries.
Really?
Yeah, it's they just got rid of it here. I mean, but then again, Japan has certain flavors too that we will never get. Like we never got the cucumber flavor.
Yeah, or that. What do you think about that Pepsi and Mountain Dew Cheetos?
That's why make a can of that. People make that already. That's like the people that make the peanut butter and jelly in the same jar. It's like another Brian Regan joke. He's like, I can't be opening 2 jars, and who knows how clean? Who knows how many knives? Just take a jar of that stuff and then pour some croutons in there too, and then just eat it with a spoon. It's like, why bother? No. I've stopped trying, folks. So.
Anyways, this train is just like went all over everywhere.
Well, let's go back to talking about the movies, because I was thinking, since we mentioned the beer brand beer, it got me to thinking of that movie I watched that I recommended to Ian, Rapture Palooza.
That's it. I was trying to remember. That's the reason I didn't watch it, is because I couldn't remember the damn name.
It's Rapture
I can't
Palooza.
believe you recommended that to him to watch, man. Oh my
Rapture
God.
Palooza.
Did you see that, Doug?
No, I stayed as far away from that as possible, man.
It's a comedy. It's a parody of
Oh,
it.
it's pretty decent.
That's kind of the point.
Well, the thing is, it's got.
Well, wait a minute, Ben.
All right.
Did you like This Is the End? Did you even see that, Doug?
I have not seen that. But
Okay,
then again,
well, it's pretty similar, and that was a pretty good movie.
even that was ridiculous to me. I'm tired of
Oh.
the whole end of the world movies.
Dude, you got to. The best part in that movie was the exorcism of Jonah Hill. That was pretty funny, man. He pretty much just get like butt raped by the devil. That's pretty much what happened.
There's too many apocalypse movies out. Too many.
Well, this one, the apocalypse is kind of. It's not the main focus of the movie. It's like, so the story starts after the rapture. So half the population of the world left. Okay, let me back up. Well, actually, it starts with her talking about like after they killed the Antichrist and God, and they're both floating in the jacuzzi. They're like, okay, I guess I should back up. So we were out bowling, and I was bowling with my boy, and he's such a sweet, and I love him. Okay, and yeah, you're like, oh no, I don't know if I can put up with this for an entire movie. Right there, I was like, I'm concerned about this. But she bowls, and then it goes into slow mo, and it cuts to people dropping their stuff. So like, the people's clothes are falling to the ground, and like their beer falls to the ground, and then suddenly it's like the brand beer falls to the ground and breaks, and it's like half the people are gone, and this movie, and we're on some levels.
That blood, there is raining blood, and they're having the windshield wipers having to get it off the window.
Blood! Oh, sorry.
Well, the thing is, it's like they're like, once you have to deal with the apocalypse, it's like, yeah, that sucks, but you kind of just like go on. They're like, is it raining blood? Yeah. Oh man, that sucks. Well, oh man, now it's gonna smear. Of course it's gonna smear. Oh, and then when it starts falling like raining meteors from the sky, they're like, okay, they're like, oh well, let's go find shelter. Okay, and then the one guy's just going on. They're like, is that hey man, get shelter. He's like, whatever, man, bring it on.
And then they have like an undead guy giving them something through the window or something.
Yeah, well, there's some stuff that is creative, like they've got the wraiths, and they've got their neighbor was a zombie who he's obsessed with mowing his lawn, and the Antichrist in the movie is Craig Robertson. So,
I heard about that. No.
Now I like him. He has some really like the problem with a lot of this movie is I think they let the people ad lib a little too much, and it's not quite as tight as it could be. Like there's a scene where Craig Robertson is at the piano. It's like there's a line where the boyfriend goes, "I'm not going to let the Antichrist steal my girlfriend, Dad." But so she goes on a date with him, and he's singing the piano. He's like, "Let me play a song, girl. I wanna touch your booty all night long."
I still say that Bernie Mac could have done a better job.
No, I'm gonna disagree with you there. I mean, it depends on it would have been a different performance though. It would have been a different character because Craig Robertson, he brings in like at times he's like, "Shut up, fool." You can buy that like you think he's gonna hurt you. But then other times he does like.
Hey, Buddy Mac's coming out right now. Let's hear something right now. Buddy Mac don't care.
Yeah, see, I can't buy him as like I can't buy Bernie Mac as threatening enough at like this. I could see somebody like in this role. I could see who was the guy? He's on who was the guy who
that guy?
No, he was in. He did Chocolate News. David Alan Grier. I could see him trying to do this kind of role and being a little more over the top, because the way Craig Robertson plays it, he's trying to be smooth. He's like, let me get your number. I'm the Antichrist. We're gonna do it right. Because you're gonna do it. We're gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it. I want to touch your booty. Oh, there's a scene where he's got his henchman holding a mirror while he's checking himself out, and he starts doing the yeah. Do it for you, baby, and the guy holding the mirror is like, gets it so wet. He's like, what'd you say? Nothing, sir. Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna Should I link the Red Band trailer or the regular trailer? I think I'll link the. Well, if I link the Red Band, there's really no reason to watch the movie because I enjoyed the film, but it wasn't perfect. Like that's the thing is like I felt they ad-lib stuff. Like there's some stuff in there that's great, like the bits of like just the little hints of what's going on after the apocalypse because it's not all like it's more like the people that are like, well, stuck on Earth now. Yeah, that's sure. Oh, are those locusts falling from the sky? Yep. And so there's these little locusts that jump around and they bite you, and then they have this face and they just go, suffer! So they're trying to squish them, and the little guys just go, suffer! And then all the crows talk, trash talk and dirty talk to people. Mofo, come on. Quack. Like Tourette's. It's yeah, it's.
I can't get down with that stuff. That's just not my dig, man.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit more than a C plus for me. It's like it's good. It could have been tighter. Like I think some stuff works. Like the girl's brother is like he's a douchebag and he's supplying like the Wraiths with weed because like after the Wraiths going around and do stuff, then they have nothing to do, so they're all just potheads and like, come on man, let me get a joint. All right, fine, jeez. You need to see somebody, man. Just jeez.
Ben's like, it could have been tighter. That's what he said. Oh.
I was going to leave that alone too, man.
I'll link you guys a trailer for it, but you can watch it afterwards. I mean, since we're on the Hangout now, I'll link this on the show.
Actually, I gotta ask Doug, since you were mentioning henchmen and stuff. Me and you disagree on the actor, but what do you think about? Not even forget. What do you think about those Anchorman movies with Will Ferrell? Doug.
We already talked about the Will Ferrell movies, though.
What did he say?
I'm not a fan.
Oh, you're not a fan?
I'm not a fan of Will Ferrell.
All right, that's fair enough.
I'm a fan of Will Ferrell. I just think that he's been overused in his niche, and I like it when I like it when he stretches himself and tries different things. Like I liked Land of the Lost. That was all right. It wasn't Step Brothers 2. I really liked Everything Must Go. Things like that.
Now I gotta ask you, Ben. Will Ferrell must stash or no stash?
Either or. I mean, he's got that dad voice. Like, let me tell you something, son. You gotta respect me. I mean, I could picture him and like Eugene Levy being like, in a dad off, like, don't forget your penis cream. So,
I like him.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I like him in that one. What was that movie where he was like, the Wedding Crashers, where he was like, that'd be like you, Ben. Ma, get us the meatloaf.
No. But anyway, Will Ferrell, when he's without the stash, he did the George Bush thing. Remember my face on election day. This face. Think of me when you're in that voting booth. All right. Anyway, but he was mending that fence with a shovel. He's like, "Oh, hi, I'm just mending my ranch."
Yeah.
So, oh man, Doug's just like, whatever. I'm just picturing it.
Will Ferrell, I'm sorry.
You're like, I'm sorry. Everything I just picture is him in that American flag thong. But as long as we're talking about guys and mustaches, in Rapture-Palooza, you want to know who plays the
I was like, oh, we're back to this now.
Who plays the protagonist? The one protagonist. The protagonist's name is Ben, by the way. So I kind of every time they mention his name, I'm like, what? Oh, I'm watching a movie. Sorry, but his dad. Guess who plays his mustachio dad, who is a lackey to the Antichrist in the movie?
You.
Rob Corddry. If you watch the Red Band trailer, there's a clip where he's flipping through the channels like, America's Funniest Raptures. The guy breaks open the bathroom door. Man, what the and then, oh, he's raptured. This guy's on the toilet. I saw it coming. I still laughed. Doug's just giving up now. I'm sorry, Doug. Have you seen any movies lately, Doug?
Just some stuff I've bought on the side, just kind of picking up and whatnot. What if I have it? Do I have it? Speaking of Craig Robertson,
wanna touch your booty?
Actually, can I say real quick? I do like that Spider-Man movie though. I thought it was a pretty decent movie.
Spider-Man.
You need it. You should see both of those, Ben. They're pretty decent, and at least watch both of them. And because I don't know how the third one is gonna go, you know, if history says anything about the other ones, you know. Everybody hated the third Spider-Man movie.
I watched a nice YouTube video review of it by the guy yourmoviesucks.org. He did a nice review. He's like I enjoyed the movie, but it was also pretty freaking hilarious. If you watch it as an unintentional comedy, it's pretty funny. It's like, also I feel really bad for Rhino fans. Like he's just kind of introduced at the end, and it cuts right at the scene where it cut in the trailer. So like you didn't see any of the battle that you thought you were gonna see.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
anyway, sorry to steal your thunder there, Doug.
yeah, right there.
Go ahead.
You have to zoom in on that, son.
Yeah.
Here you go. Something in the background. Okay. Meet the Fockers. No. Oh, Zach and Miri make
porno.
Okay. I like that movie. You know, that's the second movie where Elizabeth Banks and Seth Rogen's characters do it. Did you watch the 40-Year-Old Virgin? I like that movie. I kind of feel bad. I feel really bad for Kevin Smith, who was making on like, dude, I'm getting these people from Judd Apatow movies in my stoner film. People are gonna love it, and it's like it debuted. He asked his wife how much did it make, and she was like $2. He's like, okay, $2. If it made $200 million, that's not bad. He's like 2 point. Oh no.
Yeah. Do you think it'd be possible to make a sequel to that movie?
What, Zack and Miri?
No, the 40-Year-Old Virgin.
What would you call it?
Yeah, that's the problem.
The 41.
It was a good movie, though. That's the thing.
Well, I don't know. I like the thing about that movie is it worked because of Steve Carell's character being a likable 40-year-old virgin. Like you could understand why he had a lot of growing up issues. It wasn't like the Will Ferrell 40-year-old virgin. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't a caricature. You could still go, I could see this guy existing in the real world. Now, if he were to make that movie today, I don't know. Because Steve Carell.
Yeah, you would. I did like that Zack and Miri movie though. I expected to see some things in there, some kind of nudity in there, but I was disappointed.
Well, Lords makes that movie, okay?
The thing is about that movie, I heard myself in somebody's echo and it freaked me out. I was like, oh no, I'm there. Oh wait. But the thing about that movie is, I like the characters are cute and it's funny at times, but there's no surprises in it. Like the entire time I'm like, oh, so, well, yeah, they're going to realize that they're meant for each other when they had this banging sex scene. It's like, they're fighting for whatever reason.
Well, I think that's kind of the point of the movie. Is I think Kevin Smith wanted to make a kind of a romantic comedy on his terms. He doesn't do a lot of romantic comedy movies, and he really wanted something like that. You know what I mean? So.
Well, it's just like, I mean, I understand the argument that, like, not all movies have to do a new, reinvent the wheel. You can have a thing that is a standard thing and just do it well. But that movie, like, I mean, I liked it. I don't know if I'd own it personally. I'd watch it again, yeah. I mean, I actually earnestly liked Jersey Girl. Yeah, I actually earnestly liked, Catch and Release. Well, to a degree, Catch and Release. He was just in that movie. He was, he was originally his character was originally supposed to be played by Jack Black, and he didn't want to do it, so they cast him.
Jack Black.
Okay, so.
That was from 40 over.
Yeah, as far as anything else that I've seen lately, I still like buying I'm a big wrestling fan. Like I said, I like being here with you guys and still paying attention to the pay-per-view. one that I really recommend, even if you're not a wrestling fan, is where is that?
Santa Claus with muscles? Mr. Nanny? I like that face he's giving me right now. I should have cut.
You got a head, you die.
I should have cut back just to see his reaction. Like, oh, so no holds barred, right, Doug?
I do have that. I got that for $6.
It's on It's on Netflix now. It's on Netflix now. So, because I heard about it on how did this get made, and then. And they're like, oh, hey, it's on Netflix now. Could it be that we just happened to promote them?
Well, first one I recommend is right there.
Okay.
Best in the world.
I'm going to be honest, I have no idea who that guy is, so...
It's probably one of the most... Well, right now he's on hiatus, but probably this is one of the best done documentaries they've ever done, honestly. Follows him around and whatnot, and actually, like, sometimes they'll gloss over stuff. They don't gloss over pretty much anything on this. Like, down to, like, basically there was a point where he was about to quit, and they came up to him one night, and they're like, well, we want you to air your grievances on air. He's like, surely, you must be joking. And then they actually show the promo that he did. They call it the pipe bomb promo. It actually gets kind of deep into why he was upset and stuff. That's really good. One that I'm probably actually going to watch again here pretty soon.
What are your thoughts on the Scooby-Doo wrestling movie?
Oh yes, isn't that like a cartoon or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did a deal with Warner Brothers to make a Scooby-Doo WrestleMania movie. It just came out on DVD not too long ago.
Yeah, Shaggy's all ripped.
One of the better ones is this one right here.
Scoob.
Yeah, this one's the Attitude Era DVD. Actually tells the story of the Attitude Era, which is like the big era back in the late 90s when everybody watched wrestling. It actually had some interesting bits about that, so I like this one too. But right now, as far as anything I'm definitively watching, I just watched Kill Bill Volume 2 not too long ago. I just also picked up the first 2 seasons of Carnival on DVD. So...
Yes. Did you see Kill Bill before that, or no?
Oh yeah, like I saw it at the time that it came out. I was working for the theater, so like I got to watch both of them for free multiple times.
That exploding art technique.
Yeah, I understand that as parody. My issue was like the first one was so bombastic and okay, yeah, and then the second one is kind of like no, this is the quiet movie, and I'm like wait, what? No, this is the reflective movie.
It's really not parody. It's more of the way Tarantino explains it is that those are the movies that he would want to make of those genres. The first half is more of that martial arts movie, and then the second half is more like the spaghetti western.
Well,
it's a project of two minds, and then the second one is just as good as the first, if not better, because of how it explains the story in a way. It's really interesting.
I don't know. I mean, the way I don't know. I thought that originally he was planning on releasing it as just one, but then it got so big, he just said, "Well, I guess it's going to be 2 then." And
initially, that's the way it was written, was just one movie, but the mythos of the Bride and the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad, it became this all-encompassing thing.
I don't know, man. My personal feelings on that is when they decide, well, obviously my opus must be longer than what I originally like. You know, you've got the Avatar movies or like that where they decided instead of just 2 sequels they're going to do 3 now, and you've got the Hobbit thing where they're like, well, of course it has to be 3 movies because Lord of the Rings was 3 movies. Well, yeah, but those were 3 books. Shut up. We are making 3. It's
well, I have 2 comments though about the Kill Bill. Is the first is. Yeah, I mean, how can you really even call those volumes if you're only having like 2 of those? You'd think there'd at least be like 3 or 4, maybe.
Well, there's been talk about whether or not he'll ever do like follow-up sequels, like the girl that sees that she kills the mom and she's like, well, if you want to take your revenge out of me, you can when you're old enough, you know.
Yeah. And my second comment is that
what your mother had it coming.
oh yeah.
I mean, the thing is with Tarantino movies is like I like them, but I think I'm a little tired of now we must show everything out of order because that's just what I do. That's my thing. Every one of my movies is kind of like a out of order.
Style, simply because okay. If you're reading a book, most books are like that. Most narratives are very disjointed, and when you're reading a book, a lot of times it has a section where it flashes back, and then that's a whole chapter. And then that's kind of the way Tarantino makes a lot of his movies, is in that scope, where, yeah, you could just do point A to point F, but it seems a little boring just seeing it all in order so much. And
well, it's good when you do that. It's nice, but as long as you make you make sure that the viewer is totally aware of that they're going to some other time,
And that's kind of Tarantino's hallmark. Is like he makes movies like writers make books, and I like that style. It's just very. It's just a different narrative style that some people just can't perfect, and for some reason Tarantino can.
I think he can. I think he can do it well, and I like it when he does it well. But then there are other times where I go, "This didn't need to happen." I understand. I mean, just like with Will Ferrell, it's like after a while, it's like you've gone to that well, guy. So
yeah. Also, I'd like to say that in Mythbusters they myth-busted the fact that you can't dig out of the ground like that from a grave because you have no footing or holding or whatever.
Well, I mean, again, with the Tarantino movie, though, that's a different dimension. Like, Tarantino movies are very much movies. They're very much a thing of this imaginary world, and they're, like, if you want to take, like, say, Kung Fu Hustle, where, you can punch through everything, you will fly up in the air miles and then land back down like a video game character, boom,
Yeah.
It's like everything, wire fu and all those things. It's like
wire fu. That's it, where they're like flying through the air and they're sword fighting, ching ching ching.
Well, the thing is, it's like it depends. Like some movies, they'll have the wire fu as like it's just this one guy can do it this one time, and it's exaggerated, but you're like, well, that I can understand that for an effect, but it's not like in Kung Fu Hustle, it's like everywhere. That's just how the guy on the street will fly up a mile in the air and then punch a crater into the earth into your face, And like Tarantino movies, I don't think I've ever seen a movie of his where I go, well, this is a real world. This is based in the real world. This could happen. Ever? No.
You take a look at Inglourious Basterds, and you're like, I didn't know Hitler died like that.
It's there. He likes just like with his Grindhouse buddy, Rodriguez. Robert Rodriguez, like Planet Terror, he just wanted to make this crazy freaking thing, and it's like of the Grindhouse movies, I liked Planet Terror more so than Death Proof, because Death Proof was a lot of teenage girls talking on MySpace. Like that's the way he described his.
Death Proof is a very, very, very genre specific film. I appreciate that. I'm a very dialogue guy. That's my interest for a lot of movies.
I will defeat you.
You have to be a fan of the dialogue style movies to really get that movie and get it well, because it's a dialogue movie along with a car crash movie or a car race movie. It's all smashed into one, and I like it just off of that alone.
Well, I enjoy dialogue movies too. It's just, I don't know. I personally, the dialogue wasn't doing it for me for the majority of the film. I think, like, there are movies where I can I could just sit and listen to the characters talking and go, okay, I could watch this. Office Space. I will quote those characters forever. Nothing happens in that movie except a bunch of talking.
Resurrection.
Yeah. Well, those Fast and Furious movies, though, I like the original ones because they started off as actually about racing movies, and then it turned into like, oh yeah, we're working for the government and we're doing all these international things. You know.
Fast and the Furious is basically Saints Row mixed with car porn. So it's like here's these really fast cars doing Dukes of Hazzard jumps, and you get your car porn. But then there's this crazy stuff that's not, like they're in a cartoon world in those movies. I'm just gonna cut back to the logo now because look at that pretty logo I made. Isn't it beautiful? So anyway.
Well, no, you obviously you don't think so because you're trying to change it and get a real logo. You're saying.
Well, I don't know. I kind of just it's a variation on something I doodled when I was in high school, and it's like I don't think I'm a good logo designer. Like I that's never been my thing. I've never been like make me a design for fonts and letters, and it's like I just words. What I don't know. I could draw a guy doing a thing. I can. You want me to copy the Mona Lisa? I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually. Before we change topics here, I was going to ask, since we were talking about Seth Rogen, do you guys like Seth Rogen? And I like that one movie that you did with the Green Hornet. I know it wasn't that popular, but I thought it was pretty decent.
I didn't see it. He can do like action movies and stuff. I just I think when it comes to like he's grounded in stoner comedies, and
oh yeah,
that kind of has.
Express.
Yeah, like that kind of like. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Cheech and Chong, and like Harold Kumar stuff like that. But you need to break out of that a little bit.
Oh yeah, I didn't even know that existed. I just saw it this weekend. I didn't know they made a Harry and Kumar escape from Guantanamo Bay. That was crazy.
That was the second one. They made 3 movies. They made a Christmas one.
I saw the Christmas one.
The Christmas movie is better than the second movie, but not as good as the first. So it's good. I recommend seeing. I like the third one. The second one, oh boy,
it was okay, I guess. I mean, what it was.
For what they tried to like. The thing about Harold and Kumar, the first one is it was a wacky road trip, and you didn't see the stuff coming. So like that whole thing with the raccoon and the guy at the bush who joins beside him to pee, and it's just the stuff where you're just like, I did not see this coming. The second one is like, gross out humor, girls pooping. It's like, okay, I don't know. Or was that in the first one? I don't know, but
I was gonna say I don't know. I saw it on regular TV, so I don't know if that happened.
the diarrhea twins were definitely in the first one.
Okay, well, I don't know, man. I mean, that whole bottomless party thing, and it just felt like we're just trying to be gross rather than like. Here's some stuff, because the third one, when they focused on the story of Harold and Kumar and them their friendship and what happened, that actually worked. Like that's why the first one was so good. The second one was like, here's more of these guys on a wacky trip.
Yeah.
I mean, it starts off with here they are having massive diarrhea because they just ate like 40 pounds of White Castle.
Yeah. So. Well,
don't be on. Castle. Don't be a hater on the White Castle. Those are raised on that shit. That's my gangster stuff right there, you know what I'm saying?
I've never had White Castle, so.
Oh my goodness.
I have it. It's okay, I guess.
Well, I'm a vegetarian. What do they have for me, Doug? I never.
No, you can pretend it's not meat.
No, they don't have tofu.
It's not.
They don't have tofu sliders there?
You can actually at Walmart. You can get tofu sliders. So
yeah. Definitely.
It's just as a vegetarian, it's like I get faux meat just so I can hang out with people that eat regular meat, like when people are making a burger or something. So it's like at that point when you're making yourself the faux White Castle sliders, it's like, can I just give myself a faux Hot Pocket while I'm at it? I mean, why am I Hot Pocket? So
yeah. Well, the thing about those White Castle, the Harold Kumar movies, is that wasn't that their name from the American Pie movies? It's like they're trying to be self-aware, and a lot of times that's dangerous in movies,
I don't believe they're supposed to be the same guys from the American Pie movies.
Not really. No, I don't think so.
Oh, the one guy was, but the other guy was from the Kumar. He was from what was that movie?
No, you're thinking of no, because that guy. Rise of Taj or whatever, that character in that movie was speaking with an Indian accent. He wasn't. That was not the same character.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's.
Well, you were talking before about just generally though that movies, you don't like it when they try to be too self-aware or whatever.
I love Van Wilder. I need to get that again. Need to add that to my collection.
Well, I don't know. Van Wilder to me kind of felt like it felt a lot like what was that Matthew Broderick movie? Parker Lewis Can't Lose. It was
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Ferris Bueller. It felt a lot like a college Ferris Bueller, and I don't know. I don't know. I'm not too crazy about the character that he's like, oh, I can do everything. I'm just going to be a student forever, and it's like, oh, you've got to graduate or else. It's like, oh, well then, I don't know how to fail. I've never failed before. I don't know. I don't know. I like seeing characters that are screw ups to an extent. Like there's also the other end of that where you get the character like the Peter Griffin character where it's like I have trouble believing that this character can exist in any universe. Like it doesn't have to be a real world. It's like no, this guy would be divorced and murdered and.
Yeah. I always love those fights that he has to get in with that giant rooster.
Chicken. Yep.
Chicken gave me a bum coupon. Anyway, so yeah, we're doing Family Guy jokes now. This is well. Before we move on to Ian's trivia night, I would like to talk a little bit about follow up to a previous episode where I said I was watching Justice League Unlimited, and I watched the second season, and I was surprised by the series finale because I didn't expect it to end. I was like, oh hey, they're finally doing another 2-part. Oh, that's the last of it. What? I'm like that. I was watching. I was like, this does feel like they're kind of wrapping up the series. Like it can't be. It's like only 18 episodes. No, this is the end. It's kind of weird. It was good though. I mean, I've heard people complain about the way they end stuff kind of out in the open about some of the characters' relationships and what will happen. Did either of you guys watch that show?
Nope. Not me.
I'm a Marvel guy.
Ah, so you're more of the Avengers, huh? Don't get me wrong, I like them both. Animated series, DC has actually had probably more success, I think, making their things animated. Aside from, like, that one Spider-Man show they did in the 90s and the X-Men show, I think.
And then you have Captain Planet.
We're the Planeteers. You can be one, too. But, yeah, I started watching the Green Lantern show that, from 2011 with CG, so I figure Ian would be interested in it because he's our resident CG guy. Yeah. What do you think? What do you think about that, Ian?
What was it?
The Green Lantern series.
Oh, I did. Maybe you could link me with a trailer or something for it.
I guess I'll have to now.
Yeah.
Let me open up a new tab here. We're the Planeteers. You can be. Oh, man.
I always just find it funny how they have to fit like a really big moral into every episode. Sometimes a couple morals.
Well, that was kind of the thing there. Let's see. Where's a good exclusive clip? 6-minute preview, Cartoon Network. That'll do. So I'll link you to that.
I've seen stuff about that series. I'm not.
It reminds me a lot, when I was watching it, a lot of the stuff reminded me of the Tron animated series, because there's just lines everywhere. Like this thing's from another planet, it's futuristic, it has a whole bunch of lines on it. So, but by the same token, it also reminded me of the Star Wars Stormtrooper series, that Clone Wars thing, where the CG one, because the modeling's kind of similar. It's like, it's got that, it's well modeled, but it's also kind of just functional. It's like, it's, I don't know, like it's nothing great. I mean, there is some crazy stuff. They give a planet a Green Lantern ring at one point, so it can be crazy at times, but also it looks good, and I don't know. I mean, my main issue with it so far, because they've got some interesting characters. I watch it, I'm like, they're two guys. The series starts off with they're stuck in space on a ship, and they've got an AI controlled ship, and the AI turns into a hot chick, or I guess cute. I don't know, but it's like they've got a chick AI that talks to them, and like they're just running around doing stuff for a good portion of it. And then there's some romance and there's some drama, character development. It's fairly well done. I guess my main issue with it is the Green Lantern specifically is Hal Jordan, who like I watched Justice League, which focused on the Jon Stewart, which every time I watch that I'm like Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert in there too. But I and just that series they had, it was voiced by Phil Lamar. You might remember Futurama. He was also the delivery guy on Mad TV. He was Samurai Jack. He's done a lot of cartoons.
He got shot in the face.
Yeah.
Oh man, I shot Marvin in the face.
Oh man. So yeah, he's like that character, like that Green Lantern he was tough, but he also managed to crack a few jokes. But he was mostly like, no, I'm the Green Lantern. I'm tough. I gotta be the leader. Because his character was a Marine, so he was tough. But then you get this one, who's Hal Jordan, who he's a dude. He wears like the mask because he's keeping his identity secret, and his problem is like he's a loose cannon rookie. Not rookie. He's a loose cannon. He plays too fast and loose. Like he's a experimental jet pilot. So.
Yeah, you gotta love how that mask, the mask just over the eyes somehow keeps your identity safe.
Yeah, it's still better than the Superman mask. I mean, Superman is a personality. That's the thing. Like I love the Superman character, but that will never work. You can never fully expose your face, and then it's like, oh, I happen to wear glasses, so nobody ever knows it's me.
Nope.
I mean, I will give Christopher Reeve credit. In the original Superman movie, they cast Superman. He is Superman. He is not like the guy in that Return of Superman I mean, I like the guy in the new one. Don't get me wrong, but Christopher Reeve, he is like big, burly. He looks like a football player. He's like, I am Superman. And then when he goes into Clark Kent, he goes into like screwing with his posture and being awkward and all that stuff. And that's the character performance, and that's where it works. And other movies, they're like they cast a guy who he looks like Clark Kent and he rips off his shirt and he looks like Clark Kent wearing a Superman suit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love that South Park episode where there's like, I must eat stem cells.
Yeah. Have you seen the picture where it's like Superman he's wearing a suit and he's ripping open, he's like, this looks like a job for crap, I'm already wearing the suit. And then Wonder Woman's ripping her suit off.
Unfortunately.
And then Wonder Woman's ripping her suit off. She's like, this looks like a job for crap, I'm not wearing the suit underneath. So, but, yeah.
You might have to find that link. That'd be funny.
Alright, but my problem with the Green Lantern in this one is that he's a fighter pilot who doesn't play by the rules, and after a while, everyone's just like, dude, if we do this, we'll all die. It's like, well, we must do it. And like, after a while, I'm like, why is he the leader? He's just gonna it's like I'm gonna say he's constantly like, we have to save everybody on this ship that we've never known anything about, and they could all be horrible murderers and all this stuff. But it's like, we're gonna do it anyway, just because we have to save everybody. I don't know. So talk amongst yourselves about that while I go find the link.
Well, I don't know. He was mentioning about that female AI. Did you ever see those Jared commercials where he's like, the car is like, oh, you went to Jared for me.
It's degenerated to this. We're talking about jewelry commercials. Holy shit.
Farm, khakis, polo shirt.
What? No, hell. Yeah, I don't have much to say about Lantern.
Well, the
like I said,
trailer you linked looks pretty good.
I'm a Marvel guy. Although I did like the Ryan Reynolds movie, even though most people were like, yeah. But
are you gonna see all those new movies like Ant-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy?
I'm excited for Guardians. That's going to be good, especially when you got Chris Pratt in that. And he's gonna pull that snark off perfect. And then you got Batista as Drax the Destroyer.
Yeah. What
Everyone's
about
like,
the
oh, man.
X-Men?
No, when I'm not excited for X-Men. Days of Future Past, that was a throwaway series. It only lasted like 3 issues.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, it's bad because the First Class was total trash. I mean, they jacked everything up. Everything. They jacked it all up. And I was just like, man, please let them just throw that continuity into the oblivion. And they're like, no, we're going to fuse it with the new X-Men. I'm like, oh, God, no.
Yeah.
So like, nobody I know is going to go see X-Men pretty much, except for maybe like 2 or 3 people. I think my wife might go, but I'm not doing it. The next movie I'm seeing is Guardians. That's going to be my next one.
Was there a movie about Mysterio or something too? Or like that? No, the Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange is reportedly going to get made, but no one really knows who's going to be Doctor Strange yet. The casting is going to be crucial because you got to find someone that can make it work.
Yeah.
So.
Aren't they going to make it's going to be like for now it's an unnamed Hulk movie they're redoing? I
don't think they're doing anything for Hulk right now. I don't think Mark Ruffalo can hold a 2-hour movie of Hulk by himself. I miss Edward Norton.
Oh, yeah. You liked Edward Norton?
Oh, I love that one. For me, he pulled off Perfect Banner. Like, he was just spot on.
Well, I mean, he was good in the fact that he was the character was supposed to be, scrawny in the human form, But I don't know. I like the original Hulk's character, 'cause just like the face of him, it looked like he had like the same kind of Hulk face,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Hulk movie is that like everyone's like, oh, we want a Hulk.
Ben,
What?
you just cut in and was talking. Maybe you should start over.
I was just started. The thing about a Hulk movie is that, everyone wants a Hulk movie, like, oh, after the Avengers, we want a Hulk movie. He's perfect for the Hulk. It's like, well, yeah, but Marvel made one Hulk movie that bombed, and then they made another one.
Okay, but we don't want to get on the subject of Hulk. That was just a travesty.
Now, here's the thing, though. They made that movie, and then they made another one, and the general reaction was, meh. So, then Marvel is like, we can't really risk making another meh or no kind of movie. Like, it has to...
Making Ant-Man, oh my goodness. I'm like,
Ant-Man.
Well...
and
yet, we still can't get it.
That's all I got, man.
So did you guys check out my links I gave you?
Right.
This looks like a job for... Crap, I'm already wearing the suit. This looks like a job for... Crap, I'm not wearing my costume. So... It reminds me of how after they sold Superman and they weren't working on it anymore, to make ends meet, one of the guy who drew it, he started drawing fetish comics and art, and the characters happened to look a lot like Clark Kent and Lois Lane. So, I don't know, man. But this episode is running a little long, so I think it's time to move on to our trivia with Ian.
Well, wait a minute. Was there anything else? Any other things that you wanted to say just about sleep? Or are you pretty? I mean, because we sort of hijacked that a little bit.
Yeah, well, I think we've said I'd like to get people thinking about sleep and say, try to focus on getting a useful sleep. Go to bed tired. Don't try and fight going to bed. Be ready for it. And if you can only get so many hours, try to have a good restful one. Not try and zip through it.
Yeah, and maybe try to cut down on caffeine a little bit too, because for some people like myself, it it just becomes like water to you, you know?
Well, it's like, don't drink like 8 glasses of water before you go to bed unless you want to get up. It's like, just try and make things as useful for yourself going to bed as you can, because the night before really helps having a good, morning the next day. If you go to bed after fighting with somebody and you're fuming,
Yeah. Yep.
Man, bitch.
Okay. Okay, so now it's time for Trivia with Ian.
It is?
Ian.
Trivia? Huh?
Ian.
Yeah,
Ian.
You had one thing, Ian.
Mortal Kombat! Anyway. You're ready for this?
Now, what kind of trivia you guys want to do, though? Games, movies, comic books, or... We already did comic books last week, so maybe we should switch it up, and then we have general knowledge quizzes here.
What are you feeling like, Doug? I say you're the guest. It's your call. What do you want to do, Doug?
Let's spin the wheel. Let's see what we come up with.
Wheel of morality. Turn. Lose turn. Do not pass go.
Oh. How about we go music? You got anything on music?
Okay. Well, how about this? I have an idea. How about we type in we put in music, games, just like knowledge, and then comic books, and see has the most Google search results.
This is what we've come to. Googling. You had one job, Ian. One job.
Hold on, let me get
my job.
Google real quick here.
There's a website called Let Me Google That For You.
Alright, well, I'm ready.
Okay, well, movies has 9,700,000 or 978,800,000, or just no, it's just even
600 minutes. How many?
Don't start that, man. Alright, so what is it? What are we supposed to search for?
Boobs.
I'll do it. Hold on. I'll do it.
As long as I'm thinking about it, our choir director in high school had sleep apnea, and he was telling us about when he got the mask, and he's like, it has these big strings that go past my head, so it looks like a bunny. And then, yeah, it's not a good thing, because, like, I hear it can wreck your voice, so, like, he can do, like, soprano and stuff, and then, the sleep apnea, that's not good.
I've got a didyouknow.org. I just typed in music did you know, and it came up with 2,380,000,000 views or results.
I just typed in knowledge.
Caller 1, you're on the air. You got some trivia for us. Yeah, so who was that guy in that one thing? Oh, yeah, you're thinking of Kevin Bacon. Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, I got the results here. Obviously, of course, the games had the most search results. So they had 1,270,000,000, and then, like I said, the movies was 978,000,000, and then the comics was 178,000,000, and then I just typed in knowledge. That was 381,000,000. So, yeah, of course, America loves games the most, right?
Video games. All right, so give us some trivia, Ian. Pull something out of that magical trivia bag you've got for us.
Okay, I'm gonna pull it up. Like you said, talks amongst yourselves.
Okay, so how's it going, Doug?
Chilling, killing, natural born swelling, lounging around like a Star Trek villain. How about you?
Oh, family's been visiting this weekend. Then tomorrow I've got a concert, so it's gonna be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where you going?
I'm going to tell the internet exactly where I'm going to be tomorrow, so they can find me. And yeah.
No, you're going to some kind of. Aren't you going to like a comic book convention or something?
No.
Who you going to see? Inquiring minds want to know.
I'll tell you after I go. Well, it's like if I announced, hey, I went on vacation, because I'm not going to tell you when I'm leaving my house, so you can come and pick my belongings at your leisure. I like when people pronounce it leisure. I like when people have to give you their pronunciation of a word that's already been in the news with multiple pronunciations as it is. The member of Al Qaeda.
The thing about it is,
Okay.
It's like.
I watch a lot of YouTubers from the UK, and like there's the standard stuff like trash can, bin, loo, bathroom, stuff like that. But then there's like words like we have aluminum. Over there, it's spelled aluminium.
Uh-huh.
That's a totally different word. That's not like color and color. That's you can't change the word.
Well, actually, color and color is actually spelled differently over in the UK too.
That's but it's not a different. Yeah, but that's not a different word. I mean, just like that's a principle of sometimes O's and U's are together in the O and the O sound. That's just a phonetical thing. But that's moving an I for no reason. That's actually changing a pronunciation. Because you don't pronounce the O and the U any different than you pronounce it just O.
Yeah.
That's right. Bring it on.
Well, do you want me to start with the trivia and then we'll do some questions?
Sure.
Like last week?
Sounds good. Bring it on,
okay.
Sir.
Well, do you want to do 10 and 10 like last week, or because that's maybe what our standard was, or do you want to make, since Doug's here, maybe do more questions, like maybe 20?
I think with the two of us, with the three of us together, there's going to be so many tangents that we might as well just stick with 10, because 20 will be here all night.
Okay, the first trivia fact is the bushes and clouds in Super Mario Brothers are the same thing, just different colors.
Yeah, it's pixel art. They had to save space. They only got so much space on that thing.
I can link you guys with the trivia if you want to, because some of these are a little bit visual, like that one.
Okay, link me and I'll put it in the show notes. Because this show notes is going to have a whole bunch of links.
Yeah.
A lot of links!
And don't forget to put in my news links in there, if you can, please.
Alright, where do I put the naked pictures of you? You didn't say you'd share that one, man. No. Alright. You know the thing about the bushes and clouds that always got me as a kid is I always saw those eyes. And I was like, is that a face? No, that can't be. Then I realized, oh wait, it's from Japan. Everything has a cute face on it. Yeah. Everything has a cute face. Okay.
Okay. Next trivia fact is sort of weird, but it says DMA Designs is a company best known for lemmings, or at least they were after creating Body Harvest for the Nintendo 64. DNA became Rockstar North and produced Grand Theft Auto 3.
Okay.
So, next one is, well, made popular by Contra, the Konami Code's first appearances actually in Gradius.
Yeah. Gradius is a kind of a hard game. And then there's that parody of Gradius. The Game Grumps did a Let's Play of it where they were playing, like, what is this game? Like, it's a parody of Gradius by the same people that made Gradius. Oh, okay. It's weird. But you skip
it's not Gradius, it's Pretty Goodius.
Oh, boy. No, it's a parody where there's, like, a pig and, like, there's this giant, like, can dancer or whatever that's trying to hit you, and, yeah, it's weird. Moving along.
Okay, here's a couple Pac-Man ones. If you look hard enough, you can spot Pac-Man in the Disney movie Tron.
I can understand that.
The second one is Wild Made Pop. Oh no, I already read that one. Pac-Man creator Toro Iwatan revealed that the character was designed to appeal to women.
Okay.
That's interesting. Sony PlayStation was originally planned as a CD-ROM add-on for the Super Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
If I do that.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the actual thing was that Nintendo didn't want to commit to a CD format at the time. They thought it was unreliable.
And then they screwed up big time.
Oh yeah. Let's make the GameCube.
Let's make an enemy, just like when Coca-Cola could have bought Pepsi. A new challenger enters.
Oh jeez. Moving along.
Moving along, singing a song.
Trying to move along. Chromosome 7, responsible for ensuring human limbs and organs grow where they were supposed to, is called SHH Sonic Hedgehog.
Alright then.
Okay, next Sonic the Hedgehog. When Sonic the Hedgehog originally had a human girlfriend named Madonna.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of that. It's weird. Have you seen the people who are all upset that he doesn't have the pink arms now, or whatever?
He doesn't have the pink arms. What the?
It's like seeing a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle with more than 2 fingers. It's like, what is this deviltry? What is this witchcraft? My world doesn't make sense anymore. No, weird. Anyway.
Okay, the next one. We've all heard horror stories about how awful E.T. the extraterrestrial for Atari 2600 was. Guess what? It actually sold more than Space Invaders. E.T. moved 1.5 million units, while Space Invaders only moved 1 million.
Well, they actually made more copies of E.T. than they actually had consoles in circulation. That's what killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like when Kiss made, each of the members had their own solo album, so they printed up millions of copies expecting them to move, and no. Just like with comic books in the variant covers. Speculator, was it the Speculator boom or is it the Spectator boom? I can't remember. I think it was Speculator boom.
I think so.
You remember the comic book boom in the 90s, don't you, Doug? Everything was extreme!
Yeah.
I actually was not a big comic book guy back in high school.
You weren't the comic book guy. Well, I wasn't either.
Worst
but
video game ever.
I bought a lot of comic books because mostly for the art. It's like I didn't read too many, but I did buy stuff, and unfortunately, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Like the mainstream comics then, and the mainstream, I don't know. It was back in the time when Image was coming out, and everything was extreme, and everything looked like Wildcats, and then there were a whole bunch of different covers for stuff, and people buying stuff like, oh, I could buy this comic and sell it back for $1 million in a year. No, you're not going to do that. That's not how it works. So.
Okay, here's the last trivia. Don't think Mario and Halo are related. Think again. Jen Taylor, who has voiced Princess Peach and Toad in several Mario games, is also Halo's female lead, Cortana.
Do 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 do. I don't know, man. How do you feel about it being Princess Peach when we grew up on Princess Toadstool? I heard it was always Princess Peach, though. Personally, I say in the world of Italian plumbers from New York who go through a magical pipe into a world of mushrooms, I say, how dare you get their names wrong, good sir? How dare you? I don't know what is right anymore. I mean, next thing you know, you'd be telling me the second one wasn't even really a Mario game. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Thank you. I'll be here all night. So, now, what's the next one you got for us, Ian?
Well, that's it for the trivia. I guess we could move on to a quiz here.
All right.
First, you ready, Doug? Doug?
I guess so. What's this quiz on?
Female sexuality. You. I hope you studied. You will be timed.
This is just general video game knowledge, I guess.
What happens?
What?
So we'll see what happens.
Oh yeah. We'll see, I guess. And they gives us the option for each question to have it in Espanol, so we can make it harder.
Just give me the link, son. I'll translate it into Esperanto if I want.
Give me the link.
No, you get the Mario. I get the link. Da 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 da.
Okay. Here's what we'll do. I don't want the Mario. You can have the link. Ian can have the Mario, and I'll have the WWE game because nobody else wants them.
No, I'm sorry. You're just gonna have to get Waluigi because nobody wants that. No, nobody.
Hey, just want to let you know, one of the greatest selling games on the original Nintendo is WWF WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
With Hulk Hogan on the cover, brother.
Is he enjoying that sweet weed, brother?
Sweet weed, brother.
Were you on the show when I discussed that? The guy in a podcast they were talking about, his friend was like a maitre d' at a restaurant, and he said, "How's it going, Hulkmeister?" He's like, "Well, I'd be doing better if I had some of that sweet weed, brother."
I think he was.
Yeah.
I think he talked about that, though.
Yeah.
2 episodes ago.
He said, "I can't remember it." I'm sure the Hulk man doesn't remember it either.
Yeah.
Brother.
And, no, I think you did, because we were talking about that scandal with Bubba the Love Sponge. And,
that sounds like, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I shouldn't have had all that sushi, brother.
Yeah, I tell you, what's some of the funniest stuff ever to come out of a wrestler? The Shawn Michaels promos on Hulk Hogan. He dresses up as Hulk Hogan and stuff, and at one point he's just sitting there doing this. He's like, "Brother," hilarious.
Santa Claus with muscles, brother.
You should link that, man, to Doug.
I'm sure he's seen Santa Claus with muscles.
No, I have not. I don't watch Hogan movies. The only one I actually have is No Holds Barred on Blu-ray. Right.
Actually, I really didn't care much one way or the other about the Hulk back in the day, but growing up as a kid, I did see that one where he went. What was it? He went back to school. He carved his initials in the school bench. I don't know, what was it, Mr. Nanny?
Oh yeah, Mr. Nanny. Yeah.
So,
What's really nice about this No Holds Barred DVD or Blu-ray, it's actually got like the guy who played Zeus in this movie. Like they worked out a deal with him, so he worked a couple matches versus Hulk Hogan.
yeah, I heard they realized, he's not a real wrestler pretty quickly.
Well, yeah, I mean, seriously.
Well, the thing that confused people in the How Did This Get Made episode where they reviewed it, they were like, how come he's basically Hulk Hogan except they call him Rip? They're like, well, because his name.
Right. Well, I need to skip out for a second. I'll be right back.
All right.
I want that quiz on my screen by the time I come back here. You know what I'm saying, son?
Okay, brother.
Brother.
Well, I'm just gonna read it.
All right.
Come on, dude.
I don't want anybody cheating here.
Pencils down.
Yeah.
I tell you, man. I mean, you ever have those dreams where you're back in school, Ian? I heard that they're supposed to show like you're worried and not prepared about life, and maybe that you're worrying about the maturity of that you wish for the days when you were younger and didn't have responsibilities, and like failing a test was your biggest responsibility. Not I can't pay rent.
No. Not maybe a couple times, but
I really don't remember them. Yeah, I was gonna say though, for the longest time, I actually thought that Hulk Hogan's name was like Hall, and then his last name was Kogan.
Yeah, that's special levels of belief. I mean, I don't know. The Ultimate Warrior changed his last name to Warrior, so. But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, as for me, like, I sometimes have the dreams of being back in school, or like being in a place that I was never at, but like, you know, being of the age of being in school, so like being trapped on a school bus, you know, and stuff like that. But it's like, the whole time I'm aware of where my station in life is, so it's like I'm in this dream and I'm just like, but I graduated high school, I graduated college, I'm 31 years old. Why am I taking the math test in Spanish? Why? You ever have that? You have that dream that you got a test you didn't study for, and it's like a combination of two things. And you're like, what? No, like Latin in Greek.
Not that specifically, but yeah, maybe like a test that you didn't study for or something. It's like
And you're in
you
your
get punished
underwear.
for it.
Come back.
Welcome back, good sir.
Welcome back. And
Welcome back. Oh man,
I
I
hope you didn't cheat.
Back, come back.
You know what's sad is when I'm with my parents and I sing that song, they're like, "What's that from?" I'm like, "No, that is a song from when you were watching TV." And it's like, how am I supposed to be the one that knows that?
I know, right?
That show went off the air before I was born. I don't know. What I hate right now is that Twitter's mobile app gives you push notifications when people you follow are talking about a TV show. This is a brilliant idea because I really care when people I not talking to directly are talking amongst each other about some show I'm not watching.
Mm.
I'm just tempted to just start tweeting at Twitter, "Hey guys, you know, have you seen this latest episode of this other show? Yeah, I didn't watch it either, but I'm going to talk to you about it. I just thought you should know." So, and now to the quiz time, Ian.
Okay. Did you want to? Well, are you going to keep score for us, Ben?
Well, I'm just going to say I win then, so I mean. I thought teacher kept score, Ian. Isn't that how it's supposed to work?
No, I don't think teachers keep scores. They just grade them later.
Just give us the link, son. Come on.
Okay.
I'll tell you how.
Well, what do you need the link?
Yeah, isn't this a quiz?
Yeah, it is. I was just gonna read them off to you guys.
All right.
Um.
This is a professional podcast, Doug. How dare you snicker at us?
No, okay.
Next thing you know, my mom's gonna come in all mad about the meatloaf. The cat's gonna climb up on stuff. It's gonna be great.
I mean, like the last time I was on here? What was that? My cat.
Yeah.
Well, she dropped a flash drive off the bookcase, and I was like, man, it's a good thing I found this because this had the key to some software I bought. So it's like I'm gonna have to start locking the door more regularly
All's
here.
well that ends awkwardly, right?
So,
Okay.
first question, Ian.
First question: more than a quarter of all Americans over 50 play video games. True or false?
More than a quarter? Over 50?
Yeah.
Which way are you leaning on this one, Doug?
I'm going to say true.
I'm gonna say false.
I've heard that the over 50 gamers have been growing, so I'm going to say true just out of despite myself. I want to say false, but I'll say true just to see if it works. Go for it. What we got?
You guys were right. It was true.
Yes! Yes!
It says a 2011 survey by the Entertainment Software Association found that 29% of Americans over 50 say they play video games. That was an increase from 2009 when 25% of people over 50
What's a video game?
Gamers.
Can you? Well, that's just the sign that gamers are getting older, just like comic book fans are getting older. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
When you get your retirement home age gamers. Shut up and let's play some Halo.
Damn it, Bobby! I want to play some Call of Duty. I need to pwn some fools.
Can you just picture with the pony noobs on the? I mean, you got the 12-year-olds on one end, and you'll have the senior citizens on the other. Son,
Oh my goodness!
if I was just taking my pills, All right, next question, Ian.
Yeah, hold on. I'll keep the score then if you guys want to. Okay, you guys were both right. I didn't get anything.
Oh no.
No.
Nothing for Ian.
Okay, Nolan Bushnell, who founded Atari in 1972, also founded what national restaurant chain?
Chuck E. Cheese.
Okay, well, did you want me to read it's the multiple choice.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
What are the options?
Applebee's, he has a Chuck E. Cheese, Carl's Jr., or
Oh, it was
TGI
obviously
Fridays.
He was the real Carl, yeah.
Yep, Carl's Jr.
What do you say, Doug?
I'm gonna say Carl's Jr.
What do you say, Ian?
I'll go with what you said.
You're gonna go with Outback Steakhouse.
Chuck E. Cheese.
All right.
Is that where you're going with too?
Well, yeah. I'm the fool that blurted it out.
Yeah.
I should have played this one close to the vest. I'm
Okay.
just I'm wearing my nerd colors proud. I'm like, I know stuff. I want the world to know. It might be useless knowledge, but I want you to know what I have wasted my life accumulating.
Happy to know your nerd stuff. Yep.
I'm like a reverse brainiac. Instead of wanting to absorb all the knowledge in the universe, I just want to give everybody else all the crap in my head.
And that's the only head that you're giving crap from, I guess.
So are you saying you poop out your wee wee? Is that what? I'm not quite sure I get that there.
Oh, okay, I should rephrase that. That's the only head that you're using then.
You can't win after that sick burn I just gave. So who won that one there, Ian?
Okay, me and you did, man.
All right, you got one this
Yeah.
time. I got you, man. I got you.
I'll read off the description. Bushnell, who founded the groundbreaking Atari Co. in 1972, noticed how much money video arcades were making from the games his company sold. Not wanting to compete directly with arcades, in 1971 he decided to start a family restaurant that would also feature video games. He said that the company in the early 1980s. Oh no! It said he sold the company in the early 1980s. There are now more than 500 Chuck E. Cheese's locations in the U.S. So yeah. So now you got two, Ben, and I got and I finally got one.
Well, if you ever want to know about the fun about Chuck E. Cheese and Showbiz Pizza Place, watch the documentary The Rockefeller Explosion. It's about the animatronic band that used to perform at Showbiz Pizza. Yeah. And the obsessed fans. Like the guys that, the people that bought the unsold shows of it, so like they had the animatronic puppets in their house. Yeah. It's weird. Like the guy that created that animatronic puppet show, he married a fangirl. So,
Oh, really?
yeah, he managed to find the one chick in the world that was into Rockefeller Explosion. So good on him.
Yeah.
Good on that guy.
Good on that guy.
I mean, it's weird because you see his shop that it used to employ a whole bunch of people, and then as the business kind of shrank, he just like he had to lay people off till finally he was the only guy there in their entire rooms that like he just hadn't been into in like 25 years. And you saw like they tour some of the rooms and there'd be like the puppets' faces melting in the heat and stuff. It's like it's kind of sad, but also what in the hell am I looking at?
That's Puppet's face.
At this
thing in the heat. That looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger's face.
Is going to cut us off before we finish this. We only got a half hour left, guys. They cut you off at 4 hours.
That's what I said. So go ahead, Ian.
Okay. The most popular sports video game of all time is named after which former professional coach? John Madden, Joe Torre, Phil Jackson, or Tom Landry?
That'd be Madden. John Madden.
Madden. Oh, what you do? That's how that got started.
I'll go with John Madden also. Yeah, we were all right.
We all won, guys.
Okay.
You want me to read the description for these, or do we just want to hurry this up?
I think we all know. Plus, if you link it, we can share the descriptions later. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Which popular game inspired a pop song that charted in the Billboard Top 10 in the 1982? Space Invaders, Pac-Man, Frogger, Asteroids.
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man fever.
Are you going with that too?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go with Pac-Man also.
Boy, Ian really goes along with the crowd.
Yeah.
We should totally make stuff up, Doug. So, did we win?
No, not yet.
No, I'm saying, were we all right on that one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were. Yeah.
Yeah, we were. Ian.
Yeah.
Doug and I should just totally take a dive and watch you. You're like, I didn't really pay attention.
The next question is the KFC Double Down. I don't care what it is.
He's like, I've stopped. I actually didn't pay attention to any pop culture until like last week, so I don't know anything. All right, go on.
Okay. Now, this one asks, what was the first video game or video arcade game ever commercially produced?
What are the options? Is this a fill in the blank?
What do you want? What are the options?
Didn't you say, is this a multiple choice? Or is it
Yeah,
just
it's a multiple choice, but this has got to be like so easy though, man.
I know, but I don't want to, I just don't want to, give you the answer, so you might.
Okay, well,
I'll go first then. If you guys are worried about me going with the crowd, I'm going to say
Pong. But it was Pong, Computer Space, Galaxy Game, or Tetris.
I'm gonna go with the Pong.
Yeah, Pong.
What? Yeah.
Pong, 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 pong.
Ping pong.
Yeah, we were all right on that.
Isn't great being right.
Yep. Okay, let's go to the next one. 3 arcade games are stored at the Smithsonian Institution. Pong, Pac-Man, and what else?
KFC Double Down.
it's not even a choice in the multiple choice, man.
Well, that's how they get you.
Yeah.
They don't expect you to know that one. I'm going to say the KFC Double Down, the home edition.
All right. What's choices?
Okay, Donkey Kong, Tempest, Dragon's Lair, or Q*bert.
Q*bert.
I'm
gonna
going to go out on a limb and say Dragon's Lair just because I'm probably going to lose this anyway.
And what are the other two that are in the Smithsonian?
Pong and Pac-Man.
I'm going to say Q*bert then, because I would like to say Donkey Kong, but, well, I don't know. Maybe I'll go with Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong, because that's the pop answer. Q*bert, who remembers Q*bert? Let's be honest.
Let's be honest, yeah.
Let's be honest. I mean, this is just a pop culture thing, so
Isn't that the thing with the cubes and stuff? Or
Yeah.
I don't know.
So what's your answer, Doug?
I'm gonna go with Dragon's Lair just because I'm gonna lose.
Okay.
Okay.
Just like everybody that plays Dragon's Lair. Yes, I did a wicked burn. Yes, I am so smart. SMRT.
I don't want to say what was right.
What was right, Ian?
I don't want to say it.
Was it Donkey Kong or was it Q*bert?
It was Dragon's Lair.
Oh my goodness! I can't believe I got that one.
Okay, I'll read the description for this one. When it was released in 1983, Dragon Slayer looked nothing like the pixelated video arcade games that came before it. The characters, including its heroic knight and princess in distress, looked as if they had kept from the... or looked as if they had left from the scream of an animated kids movie. With good reason. The game was designed by Don
Bluth,
an artist who made his name at Disney Animation and later went on to start his own film production company. So
All dogs go to heaven.
yeah.
And Land Before Time, the original one at least. Not the sequels, I believe.
Okay, so we both lost on that one. Doug got the one. So you and Doug are tied for 5 right now, and I only got 4. So, and we're on question 7 now.
All right, bring it on.
Okay, so
Like Donkey
I have a
Kong.
chance to catch up. I better do it quick, man.
That's what she said.
I don't think she wouldn't say that.
Oh, okay.
I don't think she would want to say that.
I thought you only got one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. So, go on. What's number 7?
Which Steven Spielberg directed movie spawned a widely derided video game blamed for hastening Atari's decline as the dominant gaming console?
Well, I mean, considering all movie-based games tend to blow chunks, do we really need to? Come on now. What do you think it is, Ian?
Okay, well, I'll just read off the things first. Jaws, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, 1941, E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
Well, what do you think it is?
Probably E.T.
Oh no. Yeah, I'm gonna say E.T. as well.
Yeah, it's E.T.
E.T.
E.T. fool.
Yeah, I was gonna say, remember that video with the Ashens where he's like, "I'm gonna shoot you, man. That thing is evil."
Yeah.
The E.T. doll.
Well, Doug, have you seen Ashens? Are you aware of who he is?
No, I haven't.
He's a UK comedian, tech reviewer guy. He likes to review old video game consoles and other random things. And he had an ET live doll that was like, it was basically like a Furby, and it came to life and moved, and he got freaked out, and he was pointing a gun, and he's like, "Stay back, man. I'll cut you." And then he skinned it. So.
Did you want to link him to that in there? Or?
I think I'm good. I think I'm good. Never ever watching that.
There's episodes where people send him like old food. Like he got a pack of like a survival pack from Vietnam, so it had like chocolate and crackers. He opened it up and he's like, the crackers smell of mold, and the chocolate, it looks like chocolate till you pick it up and it falls apart. Anyway.
But yeah, E.T. was correctamundo.
I should watch that Stand Up Spotlight. They don't talk about anything past the 80s. Can you imagine if E.T. and Mr. T had a baby? I'd be the fool who doesn't phone home. The Simpsons.
Okay, question 8. What is the most popular paid as opposed to free app of all time at Apple's App Store?
What are the options?
Okay, well, this one, I'll give you, before I say the answers, I'll give you
a couple more seconds to think about this because I think it's pretty easy. Do you have any guesses? I mean, it's an app. Think about just general app games.
Well, the thing is, I don't play app games, so...
You don't play games on your iPhone?
Not really. I mean, I use apps. I mean, I've got Minecraft on there, but...
Well, I'll give you a hint. It wasn't Flappy Bird.
Okay. So is it is it a Candy Crush?
I'll say Angry Birds.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'll read the answer, the choices.
Options.
Angry Birds, Tiny Wings, Candy Crush Saga, or Worlds with Friends.
You mean Words
I
with
think
Friends?
it's... What?
You said Worlds with Friends. I'm going to give you
Words
this
with
world,
Friends,
but I want it back.
Words with Friends, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's the Angry Birds. I mean, that's the most typical video game on the phones, you know. You think Angry Birds.
Well, I'm still going to say Candy Crush just because.
Okay.
Just to be the different guy. I gotta be me.
How does it feel to be an outcast different guy? Because that's what you are, Ben. You're an outcast.
Yeah, well, even with the outsiders, I'm the outsider. I'm an outsider, outside of everything. Everything you know. Everything you know. Disturbs me so.
Okay, now me and you are tied, Ben, and Doug's in the lead.
What? Doug won that one.
Yeah, me and him said Angry Birds,
Yes.
All right.
and that was right.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes, it says the Birds versus Pigs battle accounts for 3 of the top-selling apps in the 5-year history of the App Store.
All right.
Okay.
You know that game was designed on a whim too. Like they were gonna go with another concept, and then they're like, let's just do this thing. Okay. Biggest selling game.
What number are we at now?
We're at 9, and me and you are tied, and me and Ben are tied, and you're ahead by 1, so you got 7. Me and Ben got 6.
All right, Mark.
Come on.
Okay. Question 9. In the early days of Facebook, an online version of which popular board game was the subject of a bitter legal dispute? And this one is sort of hard, so I'll list these off. Monopoly, Scrabble, Life, or Clue?
Scrabble.
I'm gonna say Scrabble. I'm the one reading off the questions. How can I be getting them wrong?
Scrabble. Well, what made you guys say that, though? Did you guys remember hearing that in the news or something?
No, I just figured Scrabble's a popular game because Words with Friends. I figured there's probably something with it.
I'm gonna say Clue, just to be different. And it's
All
probably
right.
gonna come and bite me like it bit you.
Yeah, come and bite me, son. Bring it.
Okay, I lied because I did hear about that. So you can go ahead and give me and Ben those points.
Yeah. No, you're right. It was Scrabble. In 2008, Scrabble owner
Yes.
has
I'm alone in the lead.
developers of
Deception.
Scrabulous, a Facebook game that at the time claimed more than 500,000 daily users on the emerging social media network.
Yeah, I didn't pay any attention to Facebook games until that whole Plants vs Zombies thing. So when that whole thing blew up, it's like, well,
Come on. Get to the last one. It's the decider.
Okay, well,
it's the George Bush of video
I've
game
technically
voices.
lost this because I won't be able to make up for it. But Ben has 7 and Doug has 8. So
I can tie it.
If you make this, then we'll do a tiebreaker. We'll go to an 11th question.
All right, bring it on, like Donkey Kong.
Okay. This one sounds a little hard. Space Invaders was originally named what? Do you want to take any guesses, or do you want me to read the?
I
things
remember.
off?
I remember hearing it, but I don't remember what it was. So.
What about you, Doug?
Go ahead and read them off.
Okay. Space Monsters, Alien Invasion, War of the Worlds, or Star Wars?
I'm going with Alien Invasion.
What was the choices again?
Space Monsters, Alien Invasion, War of the Worlds, or Star Wars?
We'll go with Space Monsters.
It might have been actually Star Wars. Now I'm thinking about it. Which should I go with?
Yeah, I get this, Ben. If you want to have a chance of winning.
Which one should I go with? Star Wars or Alien Invasion? Let's go with Star Wars.
Are you sure? No, I'm just messing.
I don't know. How can I drag this out any longer so it gets cut off at the end of the show? I'm going to go with Star Wars, yeah.
Okay, well, either of them you would have been wrong.
No!
And yes, it was Space Monsters. So
Hold on. Put me up on the screen.
Oh no, is he going to do the dance? I think he's going to do the dance.
Hold on.
You can tell by the way he uses walk that he's a video game man.
Well, see, the thing about it is that
Okay,
when you're the champ,
oh shit.
you see, the thing about being the champ is that they make the belt for you. You don't provide your own, Doug. That's kind of the opposite of the champ. That's kind of...
yeah, it's like at the end of a pay-per-view when you got the champion, he's got the belt. I mean, now I have to defend my title. I take on all comers, you know.
I like how he's hugging the belt, like he's gonna start petting it and go, "Precious baby belt." Hi, belt.
Wait, I need theme music now. Hold on.
No, we don't need to get kicked off because of the
Need
copy.
that Rocky music.
No, they'll send that alert. Remember, you can't use the musics on the Hangouts.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we've got theme music that's coming up very shortly because this has been a very long show.
We'll make that my theme music then, with whatever it is. You know,
Well, just continue on with any final words you have, Doug. Who would you like to thank?
I would like to thank me for being the champion that I am, for coming in and taking what's mine. It takes a lot of hard work to be the champ. And when you're a champ like me, you have to work hard, believe in yourself, take your prayers, eat your vitamins, and just always strive to be better than the next person, unless it's me, because I got the belt. So
You gotta work hard to put food on your family.
exactly.
You don't know what you're talking about, Hulk Hogan.
Let me tell you something, brother.
Let me tell you something, brother, about that sweet weed. All right, back to my beautiful, beautiful logo. Because remember, that's why we're all here. Because I started this show, and then I brought Ian in, and then Doug was like, "Hey, I'll hang out. I'll talk with you two guys about video games." I mean, that's such a hard thing to do, I know, but.
But yeah, Doug won with 9. Ben has 7, and then I just had the 6.
Well, hey, I think the momentum was with that the Dragons game. It's
Dragon
like
Slayer. It started with Dragon Slayer. That was my comeback moment right there.
that was where even he was like, I don't know how I got that, and then it's just started the ball rolling. We're all just like, now we're second guessing everything. It's like, I don't know, man. This could be another Dragons Lair. I don't know.
Question everything you know.
Well, if my closing comment on this is, although you're the winner of the game, Doug, you are the ultimate loser because you're a total nerd.
Yeah, well, he's married, so he's already won.
I guess.
So,
Yeah.
well, once again, if you can't see it, I'm holding up the belt right here. Champion, okay?
Your plastic belt there.
Hey, all it does, it just says champion, and that's all that matters.
He's like, hey, I happen to beat up plenty of 12-year-old boys for this belt, so you can just shove it, son. That shouldn't be as funny as it is.
I got nephews, man. Yeah, they may be like 14 and like 8 and 10, but it doesn't matter, man. I just won. That's the only thing that matters.
That just makes me think of the time Kyle wore like a Batman costume and he was a kid's costume, so the sleeves were all short, and he just looked like a giant wearing tiny clothes. Oh, what is wrong with us? So, we should probably end before this becomes the longest No Rights podcast we've ever done.
I think it already is.
You know what it is? This was all secret play to get people to fall asleep. You've all had a good night because of me. I'd like to thank you all. Thank the members of the Academy. I am really the winner of this episode. Not the guy with the belt. He doesn't know what winning is, old cookie.
Well, I thought it was pretty fun. I mean, it was
this was a
nice.
fun show.
At the end there, we had a little... too bad we didn't go to the deathmatch round,
No, cage match. I'll throw you in. 3 hosts enter, 1 man leaves. And it's me because it's my show.
It may be your show, but I have belt.
Well, okay, so your pants don't fall off. Good for you. In the winner's circle, you don't need pants, Doug. You don't need pants. We've been holding up on the show for too long. We're laughing like, yeah. So okay. Were there any last comments about sleep, and thoughts about doing anything or?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about some reforms in our political system.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we're gonna have to put you back on next week's show. I'd like to thank Matt Damon. We couldn't squeeze in him. I'm sorry. Oh man. So, well, it's been a good show this week, and I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. And remember to check out Doug on the Crushcast. Maybe one of these weeks we'll be on his show. How about that? We'll return with your.
Actually, I did have a question. What was he doing this week? Was he doing any kind of reviews or anything?
This past week was more Marvel based and kind of just BS, and I think this week's will be a little bit more of the same. So
a lot like this show.
The last time he was on, I forgot to ask him. Have you ever watched that YouTube channel with David DeFranco?
Oh yeah, I'm subscribed to him.
Yeah, me too. What is your opinions on him? Do you think he's a pretty cool guy?
He's very well spoken. He handles himself very well on YouTube. So nothing but good things to say about him. He's actually a fantastic YouTube talent. So
yeah, what do you think about that new Mac Pro he's got there?
I want that Mac Pro, but you know what? I'm happy I have a Mac. So I'm
not
on the.
You got a belt and a Mac.
That's him because I don't. But it's what it is. It's what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
I think we're about to cut off. It's like it's 53 right now. Did we start early or?
Well, I don't know. We started broadcasting at around the proper time, so I think it's a good time to say, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you all on the other side.
Peace.
To find out more, visit NoRightsProductions.com. Follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/NoRights. And hey, why don't you check out my Tumblr at NoRights.tumblr.com.